Hello everybody, and welcome. One second, let me just toss out an announcement. All right, hello everybody, and welcome to the first match of the final invitational seeding round between KDCM 17Q Dodgers and the Dark Sea Corsairs. If you're just joining us, we pulled out the top 4 teams and have them vying between each other for seeding in the top 12 tournament, which will be happening in early October and going on until it's done. And in order to figure out who ends up where, we first had a knockout round with an invitationals round, and now we had round robin the past 2 weeks, culminating in this one, each team playing the others to determine that seeding place based on points. One win of a drop is equal to 1 point. This is the final match of that round robin, which I'm pretty sure I've said 3 or 4 times at this point, but of that seeding phase, KDCM has managed to snag a match off of each opponent in this phase, currently placing them third. DSC has yet to win 1 drop. And what that means is KDCM will need to win only 2 matches in this matchup in order to secure 3rd place. So, is there another sweep in DSC in the Dark Sea Corsairs future? Or will they hold KDCM to their 1 win per match record? We'll find out soon. I'm either running it solo. IRL has reared its ugly head today for our other casters. So they are taking care of family and weddings and all that good stuff. So it's just me, and I'm going to, what is happening? Oh, that would be us going live on MWO leaks. That was so loud. Sorry about that, everybody. So yeah, we have that happening. I'm going to check my sound here in a minute, and we're going to be waiting a couple minutes. Got a couple minutes to talk to you here while we get everybody in lobby and ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and use that talk a little bit about not mining. Let's talk about Polar Highlands for a minute here. If you're new, if you are hopping in queue, if your team is hopping in queue, if you're watching this to see, hey, what's up with Mech Warrior competitive series 2023, there's an unlock happening early October. I think it's October 3rd. Don't quite quote me on that, but it's somewhere at least in those early single-digit October days, where teams will unlock once again, which will allow more teams to enter into queue for some super generous rewards if you play at least 20 games, and that's on the roster, not on the individual. And pushing, there are additional levels up to 60 games plays. There's so much that you can get into, including I think it's 2 mechs, like 9 mech bays, thousands of MC. I don't have it pulled up in front of me, but the rewards are substantial. It's worth going on. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about this map while I get everybody in here, which they should be in here any moment. So I'm going to make it really quick. Team 2 has great access to the Gamma Point. You're going to see a lot of teams go for that. Team 2 also, it's a rough side to push for them. You know what? Let's make a push yellow here. You can push up kind of through Theta. You can go around the corner here. Really, you've got options you can push. However, the thing you need to watch out for is Team 1 has a beautiful line that they can just set up a nice little concave here to receive a push from Theta. If they are countering your Gamma snipers, they can set up a concave there to receive from Gamma. There are great receive positions from Team 1. This is a map that is large enough that you can play the cap game. That's very important. Hang on 1 second, folks. I'm just going to send out a couple of more invites just to make sure that everybody has them. Okay. What you will see a lot of times is you will see Team 1 particularly send through Epsilon to Kappa, and then, you know, maybe have their lights return over here to the fight as I drag that line accidentally. Hang on, let me check my sound here real quick. All right, sound is going. Excellent. Getting some ads cleared as we intended. So expect Kappa to be in play. Team 2, of course, also can send a light on over here to Kappa. Lots of options from Team 2. Team 1, also lots of options. It's a big enough map. It really depends on what the teams are going to want to do. Now we've got 4 teams coming up here. We will be playing all 4 matches. We will see Polar. All right, DSC Hollow is in here, and I got to bring him down. All right, well, no, I don't actually. All right, so we are just waiting on Jay. Okay. All right, hang on. Okay. So lots of things to be done. You're going to hopefully see a lot of mobility on this map today. KDCM has been known to push, so expect a push. Generally, there is a bit of rotation. You could call it a NASCAR. I call it flanking if it's done well. You know, the very when teams are staying mobile, they're going to generally move around in the direction of the pink arrow. Just because of Team 2 being a little bit of, you know, if you get Gamma, you're going to need to rotate away. If Team 2 gets Gamma, that is, Team 1 is going to have to rotate away from that spot to try to get angles elsewhere. So expect a little bit of rotation going on, but that's not even a hard and fast. There's a highly variable map. All right, let me see what's happening here. Should have... Where is it? All right, sending that out to Jay so we can get this map ban on the wet road. But yeah, in general, this is where you're going to see from the map your PowerPoints or PowerPoints. Your power spots are, you know, you've got lovely spots out here in Gamma, and then you've got well, really just sort of a general fight over Theta here, and there's so many spots you can kind of set up, but this receive line for Team 1 is really key. You'll see teams set up their pause, wait for the push while their scouts look for that push. If there's no push, then they'll continue to develop either towards Gamma if it's left alone because it's such a great spot for snipers, or they'll move around south, try to get a little bit of flank. We'll really see how these teams develop. All right, I'm going to head us on over to the map ban room since that's where we're headed here. Just a quick talk about where we are. All right, tossing another lobby invite to Jay. So talking a little bit about where we are. KDCM in 3rd place, Darksea Corsairs in 4th. KDCM managing to take a drop off of everybody else. Later on today, we'll have a fight for first. It is tied between Abins and Equilibrium. So the first to 3 there will have top seeding. So that will be an exciting fight there. But in the meantime, we have this this fight for 3 and 4. All right, so Jay's coming in here. We're going to get ready for our map selection here. It's going to confirm that everybody is ready here. As soon as Jay gets in, we will confirm that. Apparently joining the lobby now. So yeah, what happens after this? That's another... Sorry, folks, just coordinating some stuff here. These teams will lock in their seeding for the top 12 tournament. Come October 1st, we will pull the top 8 teams out of the comp queue. And they will be seated according to placement and placed into, there's KDCM, and placed into the bracket. There we go. That's the word. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. And then the tournament will kick off. right, and these teams are going to start with the map selection. So I'm going to pull up my stuff here. Just going to sort of vamp while these choices come in. The way that this is going to work, if you are new to this process, is team... Ooh, I forget who has first choice. I think it's team 2 has first choice. So should be the Dark Seat. Nope, KDCM has the first choice. We're going to be playing Vitric Station first. And then Dark Sea Corsairs are going to get their choice of map, and we're going to continue going back and forth until all maps have been selected, or at least the first 4, and then obviously the last one is last. And then Dark Sea Corsairs will get to choose which side they start on. And then we're going to Polar Highlands, which we were just talking about. Make sure that our okay, we are still going. All right, next up is going to be Hibernal. And then we've got Mining or Crimson, which will Dark Sea Corsairs. And since we're playing all 5, you may wonder, why is this a big deal? Well, it's because of momentum. There's a lot to be said about, you know, if you're on a winning streak, you're good. If you're at a losing streak, you might see the chinks in some of that unit cohesion. That's where it comes to roost. So it can matter if your team is able to just stay calm, cool, and collected, then it may not matter so much. But this is the way. Let's see here. KDCM Team 2 start on Vitric Station. Not that that one matters. I mean, it does a little bit, but it's fine. Let's see where KDCM wants to play on Polar Highlands here. Team 2. All right, excellent. Our next choice up is going to be on Hibernal Rift. And if you're wondering how I can tell, the blue mech is Team 1, red mech is Team 2. So that is kind of how that works. Red team to blue team, though it doesn't, you know, doesn't make a difference once you're on the ground. It does on the overhead and in terms of those descriptions, and that's where those colors correlate to. KDCM known for trying to make life easy, so we'll see if they continue that. All right, checking on the banter, seeing if there's anything going on. KDCM having some intense chats about Team 1 or Team 2. No, wait, actually this will be Dark Sea Corsairs. My bad. Thinking about it hard. There we go. Team 1, KDCM will be on Team 1. Dark Sea Corsairs opting for Team 2 on Hibernal Rift. You have one side swap at least in between here. Next up is going to be on Mining Collective. We're going to determine KDCM back to Team 2. And then Crimson Straight, last choice, KDCM on Team 2. All right, so we've got 2 swaps that are going to happen here. Excitement, excitement. All right, here we go. All right. Confirming that selection is complete. We're going to start with Vitric Station. All right, easy enough. KDCM on to Team 2. All right, and starting Team 1's timer now. All right. So as we wait for these teams to get ready, we're going to talk a little bit about Vitric Station. Vitric Station, known for how we are forced to draw our pathing up here. If you know, you know. We're probably going to look at a lot of top plays. Now, KDCM in previous matches on their push decided to drop at one point, and let's see, KDCM on Team 2, and even the side where they were, they pushed up here and dropped around and jump up there. Which honestly is pretty brilliant. You're especially if Team 2 sets up their receive line, which I'm going to mark here in yellow. If they decide to use everything that they've got there and set up the receive line there, or use both sides. Now, something that they fell away with in the previous is that is EQ at one on their match set up on one side. I think it was usually the C2 side here. With everybody on one side, that means that they can focus fire. So KDCM able to get there with most of their armor, right? However, not able to take advantage of the split that this I guess Citadel offers here. So at that point you can hop up, you're dealing with 2 mechs versus 4, 5, however many, and then a scrim happening here at Theta with some of the light stuff. 1 second, folks. All right. Hang on 1 second. All right. So yeah, that is kind of what we're seeing. And this is, oh, they are locked. Team 2. They're 5 minutes here. So we could see this. This is a mostly symmetrical map. There are some differences in this area up here. You know, as you can see on the map, a few differences. I think this side is probably easier to push from. A lot less. There's this open ground here that you would have to navigate in order to jump up if you're pushing from team 2. Likewise, honestly, team 1, there's a bit more cover on the south side, which makes it, you'll see probably more light skirmishing on the north side if you're able to avoid the top fire. And then the south side, you're able to sneak around. You have to take the top, though. If you leave the top, I see this so much in quick play. If you leave the top, the other team is just going to take it and shoot from it. And height is an advantage, just like Obi-Wan said. You know, don't try it. It can be overcome if you are hopping up on that to contest the high ground. We'll talk about that in mining too. High ground comes into play in so many places, mostly because of the angles that you can shoot at. With higher mounts, they're able to shoot you. With lower mounts, you are less able to shoot the high ground. So it's always good to have the high ground because then you control the angles. And quite frankly, a lot of the cover as well, being able to hop up over some of the lower covers and shoot down. Just the angles make such a difference. The high ground is, you need it. You need it in so many things. So we'll talk about that. Will we see a fight over Theta? I think these two groups, we're going to have a good light fight over Theta, especially in the beginning. And that's going to see where KDCM's push is going to start from. DSC has shown some tradability with last week's fight. We'll see. I think they are going to set up against the KDCM push. Let's see if they take some notes from EQ in their stuff. And you know what, I'm here talking about maps. I'm gonna head on over to the map room so you can see where I was drawing. I was just looking at that map ban thing there. So we're looking at a KDCM push over here, maybe around the outside. I expect a DSC hold. Ultimately, this is where I have, and this pink line is the is the divide there. So I'm gonna go ahead. We'll go ahead and get this launched. And while this is going, I'll talk a little bit and then I'll get us to the match. And then will we see in Theta, this is the hotspot where EQ set up. That's what that green circle is. Everybody on the same side, which allows them to focus fire rather than setting up this yellow concave, where a lot of teams do that to receive, but then they end up getting a little bit split. All right, we are loaded into... We are loaded onto the map, so here we go. Ooh, I'm still showing level there. Let me see. Like that, thank you. All right. Here we go. DSC versus KDCM. The fight for third place, or third seed, rather. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. Good luck to both teams. I don't know why I'm in a cockpit right now. That's curious. But we'll get out of here momentarily. Oh, we are canted. There we go. All right. So here we've got, with KDCM, we've got a Dervish. I want to see what's on that. We've got a Vapor Eagle. All right, SRMs and Smalls, a Spirit Bay. Hey, there we go. Let's see, a Warhammer 2C. I think that's a Maul, not the Manual. That's the Sun Spider. We've got a Viper. What are we running for Viper? Machine guns for the Viper. Hit Fox, a little atypical here, but a nice SRM bomber that will hurt if left to their own devices. All right, now Darksea Corsairs. We've got ourselves a Shard here, which has been shown. Royal Star in that fire starter. An excellent harasser, racks up lots of damage on occasion. We've got a Hunchback 2C here, a Crusader. What's Indian using on that? Heavy Peeps on the Crusader. So we're looking at mid-range. Yep, so here's our receive line. We're split essentially 3 and 3. Take a look at that Nightstar, Daka. Yeah, so they're looking to receive here, and they're split 2 and 2. Now, KDC, I'm going to scout them out. Here comes some of the light skirmishers pushing over towards Theta on that south side that I was mentioning. Their main push looking to come from the top at this point, and here they go over the top where they can get some fires. And here's the Wolf Pack, Tawars and Zelnega failing to get up top. Oops. Red Baron with the mislinks. Giggity in that Kodiak dropped immediately by Poner, which is great for them. However, Shones in the Viper going down as well for KDCM. Are they going to make up this two mech deficit? We'll see. Dreadnought in the Kit Fox also going down to some very good fire. Ivazovsky going down in that Cyclops. Things are starting to get messy, but it is now 4 on 7. KDCM looking to take out Hollow, I think, here. Let's go take a look here at the legs. However, Tawar's getting Red Baron down. That Dervish Mislinks fight happening over in the corner. Tawar's a little roughed up there at 69%. Hollow finally going down. It is now 3 to 5, 4 to 5, 4 to 6. Sorry, things are developing quick. Darksea Corsairs very fresh here in their wolf pack. Zelnega left here, going to try to distract them while Tawars tries to get up. Let's go see how Tawars is doing real quick. I know that fight's over there. All right, Tawars did get legs, so that's why he's moving a bit slow. Zelnega almost legged, in real rough shape, but just trying to get some damage in here, maybe get another kill. This is really looking like it's going to go to the Darksea Corsairs. Well held. And again, KDCM essentially splitting the push there. I think they would have had that top push over. Again, pretty risky, but their Wolfpack should have gotten in there a little ahead of time. I think it's a little mistimed. Give it another 5 seconds. If the Wolfpack had been able to jump up first, then the rest of the push could have happened. All right, I'm going to see if there's a little issue with the stats site right now. There is sort of a backup site that I'm hoping will function. Let's take a look. That should have swapped over. Yes, okay. So looking at the stats here, you can see the damage numbers. Giggity in that Kodiak only pulling out 94, and then Sean in that Viper with 82. So that's a pair of double Ds on the KDCM, and ultimately that is what we're seeing here. Indian in that Crusader on DSC with those heavy PPCs pulling 500. Hollow in the Mad Cat 400. It just took KDCM too long to get him down. We saw Jay sitting on his head there, not really able to put out much damage there, maybe hoping for some friendly fire. But that is what we're looking at. We'll take a look at that push here shortly. Let me go ahead and get these guys sorted out onto their next one and moving. All right, next up is Polar Highlands. No switch. Oh, nope. Let's try that again. Polar. Yep. KDCM on team 2. I accidentally clicked on Bog, and they're going crazy with that. All right, starting team 1's timer now. All right, let's head on back to our map room here. So more or less, this is what happened. I'm gonna clean this up here. We saw DSC with 2 groupings up here. We had sort of most of them on Alpha, the fast movers over here on Charlie. KDCM, this is their light pack pathing here. Sorry, there we go. So their light pack went here, and the rest of their force went over the top. Now we did see them successfully use this on mining at one point, where that wolf pack gets in there, starts turning people around. Unfortunately, where things went a little wonky is the wolf pack has everybody over here on the left side as a potential target. I think there were a couple mechs up there, not a whole lot. They went for the big ones over here, lost the Shadowcat right over the bat to that DSC focus fire, which was holding that Spirit Bear. The Kodiak, a little bit of a risk because it is a barn door, but boy, it can hold some weapons. Honestly, I probably would have brought a Hag Kodiak 3 with that, able to start picking things at a halfway decent range. Let me check the range real quick. Between, well, it's going to be Theta Point and where they set up. That's about 500 meters. That's well within Hag range. So just, you're able to pick apart, even though you're a little slower, you can keep pushing. That's a couple of Hags and a couple of UX. Personally, I liked, I think it's 230s, 210s, maybe it's 220s. Nice build that was given to me that I really enjoy. So yeah, that's more or less what happened there on Vitric. It was over pretty fast. It came down to a lot of focus fire. You saw Hollow there in the Mad Cat, just with damage all over the place. Eventually they got to the legs. We just needed a little more focus fire, get Hollow down fast versus the DSC focus fire. This was a little bit of timing, a little bit of focus fire difference. All right, we are moving on to Polar Highlands, where I have a lot of stuff here. So I'm going to get rid of these yellow, well, I guess I'm getting rid of everything. That's fine. So here's what I expect from KDCM. I expect a push up the middle. For the most part, I'm going to move this to a dotted line, drop some lights over here. Maybe a light goes through Sigma over to Theta. All right, Team 1 is locked, beginning Team 2's timer now. Now DSC again setting up for a hold. So we saw them set up in the right spot there on Vitric. So I expect our nice little concave here, a pause, get some scouts around Theta, probably send a light out here as well to Gamma and maybe back. Definitely Epsi and back, because this is a map where the caps do matter. They can put a whole lot of pressure on a team, as long as your mechs can get back to the fight, especially if it's a push. We might see them try to take Kappa as well and return to the fight, especially if they have to start rotating. Kappa is going to be the tell. Now KDCM last week did send a mech to Kappa. It was able to put on some pressure, but I'm trying to remember who they fought last week. Let me see. KDCM was against Avens last week, who were just able to basically rotate on them, is what happened there. So expect again that rotation, which is sort of, that is the direction of it. You can go the other way. Dark Sea Corsairs might actually send someone to Gamma as well, especially if they're looking at development. So expect development into that concave over here. Come on, let me draw, please. Into Gamma. Let me clean this up here a bit. All right, into Gamma up here. If they're going for that trade after the receive, it all depends on where KDCM. But either way, if they send someone over here into Gamma, your firing lines, which I am going to mark in pink, you know, we're just looking at, you know, some excellent focus fire opportunities here to just get that surround. Now, if KDCM decides to trade, which they very well could, expect some fights around Hotel 9, Indian 9, and then it's up for grabs on who gets that first kill, where that tipping point is, and who sees it and is able to take advantage of it. Avens Avens and EQ, very maneuverable teams. Once they see an advantage, they will find that chink in your armor and just push right through it, and make you pay for it if you're not adapting and consolidating as quick as you can. Both teams, really make sure I did send us over to the map. So both teams ready here. I'm going to go ahead and launch them, and we will head off. So off we go. Let's see what happens in the Polar Highlands. have timed that transition a little better while we load in. Checking up on the chat here while we load in. Reminder, we are on a 7-minute delay. All right, we are continuing, still going. Oop, I have not been tracking wins here. There we go. Wins are updated at the moment. That API, I do. Good. All right, music has started, so off we go. Looking at KDCM, we've got a Crusader, the Skull, a Jenner 2C with Tawars, probably SRMs on that one, and Exia Viper, Gargoyle, Summoner. This is a push deck. Right off the bat, always got to look and see what our Crusader is bringing. ER peeps on this one, so some snipe ability. Our Viper, probably machine guns again, not going to bother with that. SRMs, oh, hang on now. That Summoner is not the SRMs that I expected. All right, we've got a little bit of a mid-range to tradey deck here for KDCM. So we're looking at potential push. Now, they're not sending anybody over to Kappa. So that is a little bit of a tell. That's going to be a free cap for the Darksea Corsairs if they decide to take it. So here we see this Darksea Corsairs line. Over here, we've got the Shadow Hawk. Let's take a look at that. Hero, Mishipeshu. I've never actually had to pronounce that one. We've got the Hellfire with Hag and some medium lasers. Excellent. Excellent mech. We've got the rival. We're very hero heavy here on the Darksea Corsairs. The Black Lantern, also the Pelinaria. Did they bring all heroes? Hang on a sec. No, the Timberwolf is not a hero, nor is that ERPPC Crusader. But the Exi is so hero heavy with large lasers. So we're looking at mid-range here, and our Shadowcat as well. With some machine guns. So we've got a little bit of scrappiness here with the Darksea Corsairs. They may be gearing for a push. Hang on, let me revisit our, well, no, that was Hags, and this one is our standard pulse bomb. Well, not really pulse bomb, but laser bomb Timberwolf. So they've got some good medium range. KDCM opting to take this Gamma Ridge. Now here's what I was talking about. Check these views. You've got a view onto Theta, you've got a view onto where that concave is, which is more or less where Darksea Corsairs has set up, looking for this KDCM push, which actually might be coming from Gamma. So they need to develop their position a little more, but they're going to end up following that counterclockwise rotation that I mentioned before. And as we can see on the mini map, there's a mech out there which is just taking Kappa. So this is going to be a fight over Theta. KDCM didn't bother, but here they are. They are pushing up on the Darksea Corsairs consolidated formation. Just they will be looking for something to take here, but they are not all close range. They can take their time if they can take Theta. Right now, actually, they have a significant lead, so they don't have to do anything. They just have to cover Theta and hold, as long as they're not burning armor. That's going to be very important. Looking at Shones at 94%. I'm wondering if he's open on the head. That can happen sometimes, and now it's just a messed up shoulder that's causing that discoloration in what would normally be green at 94%. All right, pushing over. Here's that Darksea Corsairs concave, right where they need to be, looking at the right spots into that choke point, focusing down Jormungandr a little bit, but not really able to get the spread. Merkjay pulling out as he needs to do in that Hellfire. It's gonna be enough. That being said, Darksea Corsairs needs to keep backing up. They need to buy themselves a little time to receive this push, and they are just all grouped up. I think Ivazovsky is probably going to be the first on the target list, but it's hard to tell. It could be Hollow. Everybody else fast enough to get away. Here, the Darksea Corsairs are just bleeding KDCM's armor. You see a lot of 70% there. Hollow at 77%. Darksea Corsairs with the heavy armor advantage. All right, House in the Incubus with KDCM around. There's some halfway decent focus fire from KDCM taking it down. Now we have a weapons advantage. Zelnega, though, in the Skull down to 53%. Let's take a look at what that is. That is just an open torso. All weapons still on the field, I think, with a bunch of that build. Zelk looking to get some pokes on the Vigal rival. The rest pulling back. KDCM looking to consolidate. Probably going to end up sacrificing Zelnega here, who is pushing ahead. I'm not entirely sure what's happening here. Is it bait? I don't know. We'll find out. What's the rest of KDCM up to? They are consolidating, waiting for more development from the Dark Sea Corsairs. Now, Dark Sea Corsairs still have Theta and are about to gain the cap lead on KDCM. So that's something that KDCM has to be looking for. Tawars and the Gen are coming through. Red Baron and Royal Star ready to jump with Shown in between. Red Baron taking a big hit, getting halved, losing a leg. That is a nice pick by KDCM, a bait and switch. Beautifully done. Royal Star running in the Black Lantern should be able to get away, but the main thrust of KDCM is coming over here towards Merkj and Zelk. Again, that rival using that mask to pull back. Merkj, Sneck went down at some point. Jormungandr cooking himself for the cause. Merkj managing to stay alive amid this push. Never mind, there we go. Next up is going to be Royal Star. That's where we're going to collapse. We're going to finish off Zelk though. Tawars in the Jenner getting finished off by Avzovsky in the Exy. Right now, Dark Sea Corsairs, a mech and armor advantage for sure. Dreadnought going down. Jay and the Summoner at 30 some odd percent. Ivazovsky just moving up the flank here and finishing it off. A win for the Dark Sea Corsairs here. What is this? 3-2? Oh, I'm sorry, 5-8. Had to get my mind around that one. So we will go ahead and update our scoreboard accordingly. Grab our match stats and we'll look at that. I think what we're looking at here is a little bit of KDCM focus fire difference. Yeah, House getting double D'd, but a lot of damage by the Dark Sea Corsairs. Actually, this is just a damage tell. Jay with 560, very nicely done in that Summoner. A little more focus fire from KDCM, I think would have gone a long way here. This match is a lot closer than it looks. Let me see. I'll send y'all over to stats here momentarily. There we go. We'll go ahead and take a look at the scoreboard. You can catch some of those more detailed numbers while I go ahead and organize a switch here, right? Okay, switching sides. All right, this looks correct, right? And we are moving over to Highburn Rift, which is a remake of the old Canyon map. Not really a remake per se, but it was a reworking, if you will. Much like Polar Highlands, there's an older Polar Highlands. There's a newer Canyon Network, which hasn't been there for years. It's really a lovely map. All right, I'm gonna move us over to the map room while these teams decide to set up. Now, we have seen some interesting plays. I don't expect it from either one, but I think it was EQ setting a mech. Let me see here. Can I? Yeah, let's just use this icon here. There is a spot up here that you can throw a. Oh goodness, I'm blanking on which mech it was. Not the night gear. Yeah, no, a night gear. Up top with some nice DACA, and that is particularly useful if you think a team is going to push. So we have DSC taking team 2. I believe it was their choice. And actually this is a little not where it needs to be. I believe the spot is in fact even back here. So if we end up with a push all the way to Bravo 4, Bravo 5, expect that position, especially if they've been watching back the maps. Otherwise, we're going to see KDCM a very sort of volatile push, not volatile, variable push directions that can come along here. These are the two paths that we've seen. And actually, this one kind of looks a little more. Oops, I got rid of both of them. So we've got one basically over to FC there. We've got one that started going that direction and then faded back. Let's see here. Dark Sea Corsairs again looking at the trade and receive. Expect something along. Let's see. We are on the right? Probably some receive lines back here. Based on what we've seen, it would be sort of advisable to let KDCM push into that corner. Now, if KDCM were to learn that Darksea Corsairs would need to maneuver a little bit more, expect them to develop if they need to from these positions, if KDCM pushes from the other direction, which is entirely possible, expect them to set up a receive concave, something along these lines. So just rotate between the two, figure out where they are. It's all going to come down to the scouting. No, the skirmish generally happens a little bit around Theta. So we'll see some fighting there, maybe some fighting over here. Now KDCM could, I think we did see a team the other last week maybe take a Kappa push route in order to counter that high wall strategy potential. So there is something to be said about that approach. That is what I would recommend KDCM do in this particular light if they are going to push move around, because these spots, this Bravo 4 hasn't really worked out among them. Sometimes there was a little bit of fight over here in the center, but both EQ and some crow. All right, DSC is already locked about 5 seconds after. And ultimately, I think I've talked really about what we're going to see here. We'll see which direction KDCM decides to take. We'll see if DSC has been doing their homework and decides to set up again, I think it's Equilibrium has been setting up here, either Equilibrium or Avens, just using that top set and that corner as a really lovely receive spot. So we'll see how they go. I'm going to go ahead and get us going on here so that we can just, we'll find out. We'll find out. That is how it works. Heading on over to match screen. Let's check out the chat while we load. Checking chat. That was a mistake. That's okay. I'm going to do it again, whatever it takes. Yeah, the polar map is developing here. All right, so we are on the ground at this point. Ooh, actually I need to swap sites here. There we go. That will update momentarily. All right, so at least we get to take a look here. Royal Star in the fire starter with the 2 light peeps, a very excellent harasser. Keep an eye on Royal Star's numbers and movements, folks. Very good in this fire starter. Merkjay with that pulse and medium laser Timberwolf. We've got a Shadowcat and a rival over here. Shadowcat is running heavy, large machine guns and mediums. And our other pack here for the Darksea Corsairs is the Marauder 4L. Probably going to set up, yeah, Hollow likes to set up on that volcano there. And the Maul again with the ER peeps and Gao. So we've got a lot of snipey tradey stuff here. KDCM could really put a hurt on them if they push aggressively. Now we've got our Hellfire over here with Gauss and Large Pulse, the Exi with ER peeps and fists. Basically a high alpha Marauder to C, dual Gauss 40 Maul. Are both teams running the Maul? Both teams are running the Maul. All right, we're seeing Sneck there in that Maul taking some hits. Let's see, Crusader, what are we running on that? What variety of PPC snubs? So yeah, this is going to be a push up by the dropship. We see them gathering here. You see Darksea Corsairs consolidating into this line. This did work in the first, this is looking like our first week with KDCM. We'll see where the positions sit here. A couple of trades going by, a little bit of Pop-Tart. KDCM looking to choose their target. A little development along the KDCM right flank. That's our visual left at the moment. Tawars and the Jenner making a move, trying to get a scout and paying for it a little bit. Ran right into 3 mechs. I think they're going to try to sacrifice Tawars to get this push going. Tawars, unfortunately, not making himself enough of a nuisance. But opening Merkjay up to 75%. If Tawars can trade for Merkjay, that is going to be significant. All right, here we go. We're fighting for Hollow. We get a trade. There's Poner for Dreadnought, the Mistlinks for the Crusader. That's a good trade. But Hollow and and Red Baron looking to fend off Shone. Jormungandr Zelnega taking too long. There goes Tawars for Merc. It is now 7 on 6. Shown going down to Red Baron's mislinks. Just his friends took too long to get there. Jormungandr moving on when Zelnega. What this is a very strange split. Should have finished off Hollow and Zelnega. Sorry, Hollow and Red Baron there. But they are going to take out Zelk, which will even it up. Darkseid Corsair is a little bit at the armor deficit here. House with the Shadow Cat, Tawars and Giggity just ganging up on House. Let's see. Well, there goes that. Royal Star next on the block for those two. Let's scoot on over here. Red Baron trying to take out Jormungandr. It's looking likely, although a lot of this is internal damage from Jormungandr, while Red Baron taking Little Cook, getting legged there. That rear is one touch. Sneck coming in here, trying to pull Royal Star back. Jay trying to cover, legging Royal Star, and there's the finish. Giggity still alive. This is 4-on-2. It's closer than it looks, folks. A lot of these mechs are looking like they're about to drop. Now Hollow taking out Sneck with a shot with one Gauss rifle, so that tells you how close we are. Jay coming in behind as Towar starts to take Hollow out. Where's Red Baron? Red Baron just being left behind. Giggity might, yeah, Giggity now turning to deal with Red Baron. Is Red Baron out of ammo or something? What is happening here? Red Baron jumping for the moon. That is going to give KDCM a win here. They just got to clean up on cats. Catch should just need to take one cap point to finish this off. And there's that push. Tawar's pushed ahead, serving as the one-man wolf pack here and able 1v1ing Merc J in that Timberwolf using those SRMs. I mean, took a little bit of a well, actually no, still alive. Where are you, Tawars? Giggity. Tawars is back on Sigma. That's all right. We'll leave that one to be as it is. Go ahead and set up our lobby stats here while that's refreshing. We'll take a look at our team stats. There we go. Dreadnought and the Mistlinks kept to 13 damage. That is rough for KDCM. Dreadnought going down early there, but ultimately a sacrifice for the rest of his team. The damage spreads are pretty even, quite frankly. So here we see KDCM able to tighten up their focus. I'll scoot you guys over to the stats screen here in just a sec. There we go. All right. And we're up for another side switch here, so things may get a little funky on the left versus right side. But yeah, that is what happened. We'll talk about that here in a moment once I get the maps up. Hang tight, everyone. Next up, we're going to talk about Mining Collective, and I promised to talk about High Ground there, and we will certainly talk about that. All right, side swap, map swap, starting the timers now. All right, there we go. All right, so looking at, well, we'll talk about Hibernal here real quick first. Let me swap you over to the map room. Just clear it here. So we saw DSC more or less develop on this line here. KDCM, I swapped those. Hang on one second, folks. I will clean this up. More or less on this kind of line here, with Hollow being over there in Bravo 5, and then we saw KDCM basically take all their mechs over here. Tawars, I'm going to put in that dotted line, pushing up over and onto this bit of cover where there were 3 mechs from Darkseid Corsairs. That's a 3-on-1. He reports that out of position, and then KDCM pushed. How best is I guess more or less this way, but it was a little bit of everything. They push, instead of focusing one mech, they focused 2 or 3. We got our fight back here in this corner a little bit of a 1v1 as the rest of Darkseid Corsairs pushed over here to support against the push. And then we had Hollow in Bravo 5 who was halved, and then decided to sort of, I'm guessing they more or less moved along since it was a mech with 1 Gauss. I expressed a little confusion there in that push, but I think that's ultimately what comes down to it. If you do enough damage to a mech, you know, one Gauss is not going to be the end of the world unless everybody's super close, which it was at the end, to be fair. But KDCM able to go and get bigger weapons off the field, and it is the weapons that you want to get off the, like, the mechs are important in a cap game, it's true, but on a mech or a map this small, you need to get the weapons off the field so that you can, you know, that's when it starts to stack. If you're able to essentially, you know, we took 2 PPCs and a Gauss off of that Marauder too, but meanwhile you've got something with, say, you know, if that Timberwolf had survived 2 large pulse and a bunch of mediums, that's a little bit more of a threat, right? It's about the weapons that they carry. And meanwhile, you can have a mech that's at 40%, still have all its weapons. It's a lot to deal with. All right, both teams are locked. So let's talk about Hibernal as quickly as I can. Right? I have even gone ahead and, oh, that's not what I wanted to do. We want to talk about Mining Collective, not Hibernal. I've gone ahead and marked it off. Let's see. KDCM on Team 2 side, that is the open side. They've been showing more of a mid-range to brawl kind of tactics right now. So honestly, expect maybe someone to take Sigma. Come back to the push. Maybe that's, you know what, I'm gonna dotted line that one because that is far from a certainty depending on how they want to run it. We're gonna run up probably the Echo side here in some sort of a force. Now the trick that KDCM needs to not fall in is to not get stuck here in Echo 4. Don't get stuck fighting back here by Fox 4. If they're going to have some ground-bound mechs, what they need to do is they need to take this Echo 4 spot right here. I'm going to change my color here, maybe the purple. Let's just go red. Red will show up. This high ground right here if they're going to take this side of a push. And I mean, even if on the other side, take that high ground before you fight. If there's a fight in the high ground, your low ground fight is going to go much more smoothly, even if the fight for the top is not successful. Darksea Corsairs, again, we see them on the receive. Expect them to try to take one of these high grounds over here. I highly expect Echo 4 with some trading mechs. I'm just going to mark some firing lines. So we're probably going to see a mech here in Delta 3, maybe some in Delta 4. They're going to try to get some of these lines across here, maybe even some into the back. That's probably going to be more or less where they're aiming for, looking to quash this KDCM. Now, these are initial development positions. It may take, you know, depending on where KDCM decides to push, if they decide to throw for some loops. KDCM feeling very, having very good tactics to stay in pretty fluid, even with their pushes, getting that sacrificial mech out there so the rest of them can cross. Just a little bit of a mix up on Vitric there. Otherwise, we've been seeing this push this whole time. So expect these initial development positions and then expect to move on from them very quickly, and also expect me to be wrong. Who knows how this is going here. You're telling me the winds are wrong. The winds are wrong. The winds are in fact wrong. Ooh boy. Let me fix that here. 1 second. I will win there. Okay. We're back to correctness. All right. Thank you for letting me know in the chat that I have things a little mixed up. And we are on the field. Oh, it did it again. All right, fine. Interesting. When I click in, somehow it sends me to a mech. This is a very strange thing, but I think I figured out what it is. All right, here we go. As soon as they get put down.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All
On the ground. There we go. Okay. And we're up. Let me get rid of this top little thing here. All right, so we've got a Summoner, Dervish, Crusader, Assassin, Marauder 2, looking at KDCM. That mislinks is going to be straightforward. Viper, are you only? No, we've gone for the machine guns again on that. Let's see. The Summoner will be telling, there's our SRM bomber.
Enemy forces have Sigma.
And our large laser Marauder 2, the Dervish, probably going to have SRMs and a couple smalls. And then the Crusader, as I always like to check out. Come here, Giggity. Probably snubs. No, ERs on that. So looking maybe a little bit of Pop-Tart development here. We got Shones taking the top, which is what we need to see, countering to Epic Poner. DSC taking the south side, looking for a receive, figuring that's where KDCM is going to come from. Let me make sure that we're not still on a map cast, which we are. So here we go. There we go. Sorry about that, folks. So yeah, we've got DSC developing the south side on that high ground, almost exclusively the high ground house in that Phoenix Hawk, with quick and easy access with the snub. So we've got some high ground trading, KDCM in the higher spots here, but Jormungandr just taking a beating, trading against 4 to 5 mechs here. We need some more to get in. Jormungandr falling back under that barrage, and the KDCM push is coming. Fire Ant in the mislinks getting jumped by Zelnega, Dreadnought, and Giggity here. They're going to wait for that probably as Jormungandr tries to escape. This is going to be a mislinks to a Marauder trade here. Jormungandr already halved, but getting into the middle of the group, keeping some of those weapons on the field. Giggity up again 1-on-4. We see just this series of 1-on-4, but you're looking at some really nice armor rotation here. They need to get some focus fire going on the Darksea Corsairs, because look at this. Yorm at 30%, Giggity at 49%, Yorm at 0% now. Everybody else in the 70s except for Zelnega and Tawars, who need to be getting some shots here. Jay running away in the Assassin. Ivazovsky pushing forward to the detriment right into the concave. So it looks like there goes Indian as the next. KDCM pulling this back. A lot of the mechs very fragile here. Royal Star or House, probably House is going to really be the next kill. I take that back. It's going to be Zelk. Zelk going down. Hollow in the Mad Cat in behind. The Wolfpack sneaking in behind over that cover. Who are we fighting for here? Zelnega or Dreadnought? Really going after Royal Star's neck. Going down in the back, or I'm sorry, in the front with the XE. Royal Star trying to hold on for dear life, but unable to. Towar's at 70% here in the Dervish. Let's see if we can get some look on that. A little roasty around the center torso, and everybody else just going down. KDCM able to make that close and taking the high ground on that Echo 4, really allowing them to control the fight. Even when things were going a little sideways, they were able to rotate around. You saw that armor rotation. It was really well done by KDCM. Now that is KDCM's second win, which is going to secure third place for them in this tournament. That is all that they needed. Looking at the damages here, Fire Ant getting caught out early at 78. Let's see, go to the scoreboard. Zelnega at 406, sorry, 585 for Tawars was the highest as I'm looking at that. So Tawars getting lots of SRMs off in that Dervish. 504, 512 by Royal Star and Poner, but that KDCM pressure just kept them from being able to focus fire. KDCM staying mainly together, and as we saw, the KDCM mechs that peaked against that 4-pack of DSC really just they got it bad. They you know, just down 40% in about 3 seconds there, but they were able to rotate back, and KDCM was able to take it on. Let's see here. There's our stats. Our last map here is going to be Crimson Strait, which I think is this has been the last map for most of them. Let me see here. How are we doing? We might have a little bit of time in between casts. Let me just double check what the timing is. Hang on, double checking time. That should be about 5 o'clock. Okay, we'll see here. All right. So gonna head on over to our map here. All right, so looking at what happened, I mean, basically exactly what is drawn here. We don't have these lines. Darksea Corsairs, basically, I'm just gonna put a box because they basically developed this Echo 3 spot, but KDCM was in the high ground. Was in the high ground first. And was able to leverage that, and then we had a little bit of a light fight over here around Theta. That's where Fire Ant went down. Once that advantage was gone, KDCM lights hopping over top and over back, just absolutely surrounding. All right, let's see, counter is going. I have offered the teams. We have a little bit of a pushback in our second match to the top of the hour, and so if we have time, we'll do a quick bog drop to fill the time if the teams are quick enough. So I will try to talk through Canyon here real quick. Or I'm sorry, Crimson. Honestly, expect where we KDCM team 2, that's the bottom of the map. KDCM probably going to push over and maybe through. We'll see. They have been occasionally taking the saddle, checking things out, and then moving on. Look for the fight to be at Epsilon or Echo 3. DSC probably watching everybody so far. Probably going to develop Epsilon first, although Hollow does like his snipes. Could be going there for a quick pause, and then they will probably push over the island. Island is the place where you want to develop your snipers. And then the fight is probably going to be an island between these two teams. Alternatively, the fight could be around here at Delta 5, which would be at the detriment. All right, team 1 is locked. Team 2, time starting now. We could also see, actually, I think DSC previously has decided to develop the Theta Cap as well. I expect if they do that, KDCM is going to take advantage of those numbers. Now, KDCM cannot let their snipers sit on the island. If that is the case, they need to move them in. Both teams excited about Bog. All right, if we decide to do that. Let me see here. As I always like to, or it should be at the very least. You see here. All right, I'm gonna head us over to. Yeah, we've basically talked about Crimson. We're talking about my. Hang on, I didn't do a full map cast, did I? I'm reviewing, making sure I didn't. Yeah, there we go. Okay. All right, hang on. Let me check through things. All right. All right, so they are moving on. Yeah, I mean, what else is there to say about Crimson? Not too much. These are the patterns that we're looking. That island is really key. Unless you decide to really just hold Epsi Gamma Theta, but then that puts the onus on the team that has the island, or I guess Sigma Kappa Theta. And there are some sniping positions over here in Hotel 4. I don't expect KDCM to take advantage of that. I think we've seen the Corsairs try to take advantage of it, and the ranges are just too long. I don't think the ruler shows up, but it's about 1,300 meters from that spot, maybe 14 to the middle of the island. Meanwhile, you're going to have a trader going Epsi versus Kappa 3-1. All right, both teams are locked. In order to have some fun here, I'm going to go ahead and go ahead and launch these teams to get it going. Yep, folks are letting me know it's a radio cast now. Don't forget there is a 7.5 delay, so it'll take a second for things to do. But I did catch that one on my own. Don't worry, we're not radio casting this time. The match. And actually, let me make sure my scoreboard is on the correct side. Yes, you should be. No, I think. Hang on. ADCM Team 2. I think we were incorrect on that previous one. Sorry about that, everyone. Come on, let me. And again, as I click, I wasn't even clicked out at that point. Interest. I don't know what's going on. Something in my process brings us in here. But hey, KDCM Team 2. Scoreboard is fixed at the moment, so sorry about that, guys. All right, here we go.
Reactor online. Sensors online.
Coming in. Capture and hold the resource.
All right. There's our teams. There's our numbers. All right, so we are looking at Tawars in the Skokomish with some snubs and MRMs. Interesting to see MRMs, ER large on the XC, and ER large on the Marauder. Now we're getting some early shots off across the island. I don't know that that's ultimately going to do too much, but hey, a little tickle here doesn't necessarily hurt. I'm a little paranoid about the match cast, so 1 second. All right, Jay with the Crusader with the light PPC is interesting, and we've got a Vulcan here with SRMs and heavy machine guns. All right, so we have 2 cap to KDCM, putting that pressure on the Darksea Corsairs, who are going to develop Theta. KDCM looking at a push over. We've got 2 mechs probably scouting the top Royal Star with that UAV over there, now spotting all of KDCM. So Darksea Corsairs know where they need to go. They are setting up over Delta. We've got Ivazovsky in the Mad Cat sniping against the island with some hags and some lasers. We'll take a look at that. There's a little bit of a toasty build, but should be manageable as KDCM begins their cross. House and Royal Star looking to join Zelk on this right flank here as Sean gets in front. I don't know if they've spotted the Black Lantern and the Piranha, but Merc J certainly has at this point. So here they are going to run down, try to get that Merc J pick. He's all alone, except for Epic Poner, who might be burning some legs to get in there, getting some shots on Zelnega as Tawars and Jay make it across. They are in the lower city here, or the lower parts of the lower city, while Dreadnought tries to draw some fire off to the left with 3 of their mechs on him. That looks like it's going to be successful. Now, meanwhile, we've got our fight over here. It's 3-on-1 for Poner. Poner's going to get out. Ivazovsky catching a lot of fire at this point. Looks like they are just going hard for legs. They have that open. That will be closed, or rather that will be taken very soon. House and Zelk getting corralled here by Tawars and Zelnega. Giggity looking to really just corral Poner. There goes Ivazovsky. Zelnega finally falling, but Shone, House, Tawars, Jay, all against Zelk and Poner here. Poner looks like he's going to get to the outside. House is going to fall. Let's see how this other fight is developing. Looks like Jormungandr Zelk goes down in the Crusader. Dreadnought goes down. Poner finally goes down. Things are adding up. Jormungandr going down. Hollow still with a leg and all his weapons, so there's something to pay with for that. Hitting Shones right in the back, taking him down to 55%. Shones is ready to go here. And probably will be doing so soon, especially against Royal Star there. Giggity looking to chase Fire Ant down as Fire Ant looks like he's legged Jay. Jay not moving very fast. Let's take a look. Yes, Jay is legged, so we get a little bit of maneuverability. Royal Star going to continue to poke, but Fire Ant in that Locust 3V is going to go down. Looks like it was to Giggity there. Hollow next on the block as Sneck here is in a fresh Executioner, having made it across the island at this point. They're just gonna pick him apart, and then I think Royal Star is going to be the last here in the fire starter, and it looks like Royal Star is in fact legged. Hollow, I forget who he, wrong button there. Forget who just dropped, but looks like Hollow able to take one more. It is a 3-on-1 with Royal Star, essentially one shot. Giggity's going to get it here in the Piranha. And now it is up to KDCM just to close. As soon as they capture FC just like that, it is going to be over. So that is a beautifully close match from both teams. That is going to end with KDCM. I am unclear what just happened there, but I'm opening my scoreboard back up. KDCM taking the final match to make this a 3-2. A very, very good, very close. Looking at our time, yeah, we've got time for one more exhibition match that everybody wanted. So hang tight, guys. We have a little bit of time. Second match got pushed back just a bit. So both teams have requested, due to some excitement over an error, we're gonna go ahead and run a exhibition bog match. This does not count for any points. This is simply a time filler, folks. Gonna have some fun here. Let me send us back to lobby, or actually here, let me send, real quick, did I get the scoreboard up? Because I had my scoreboard issue. Get the stats up here real quick. We saw what happened. We saw that cross with KDC. I'm not going to go over it today on Crimson. We'll head back to the scoreboard. Yeah, there we go. Take a look at that. As the teams get ready for a very quick bog match of Viridian Bog, a match that is not in the queue. So we'll see how this goes. Exhibition match. Yes, that is what we're looking at. All right, KDCM is ready. DSC just waiting on 4 people to figure out their mix. Over into lobby so we can see how this is. All right, both teams ready. I'm going to go ahead and launch. It's a quick little interstitial. Then there will be a break while I swap some stuff over. And then we will be on with the Equilibrium versus Aben's match right after this. So stay tuned. And let me see what's happening on stream here. There we go. All right, so here we have Epic Poner in the Veagle one. Looks like, with Hag and some lasers. We've got SRMs and flavors from House. Royal Star in the Viper B with a pair of PPCs, what I call the Zonoran Special. Hellx, there we go. Fire in Italy, Ivazovsky and an XC. Arctic Wolf for Zelk. Looks like we've got some tradey-ish Docker receive. Let me make sure that we are on the right screen here. We are. All right, I'm going to go scoot on over. Or I'm sorry, that's all Darksea Corsairs. Let's see what KDCM is bringing. We've got a Piranha, a Black Knight, Jay in his Black Knight. That's what we like to see with an AC-20 and some small pulse. Black Knight just receiving some buffs recently. So High Alpha Bringer. We've got Binary Laser and 7 Medium Stalker. Towars, toasty, I love it. Let's see here. Bushwhacker with some snubs. Yeah, here we go. Looks like there's some sort of a hold being called. Maybe for develop. Oh, they're getting ready for a brawl. All right, these teams are just gonna. We're just having some fun in the exhibition match here. Let's see what else is happening. I'm gonna switch over so I can watch the chat. That goes. All right, looks like we've got Poner and Giggity, or Poner just getting some shots on Giggity. KDCM sort of just like developing the line here. It looks like we're gonna have a collapsing push. They should be able to surround the Darksea Corsairs fairly soon. I don't know what's is this a Hollow J 1v1? Is that what's happening? That might be what we're looking at here. If I can find Hollow. Where are they? Oh, they're off on Theta. Here we go. That's the 1v1 that we're doing. And it begins. Hollow Also, oh, this is a Black Knight v Black Knight. All right, here we go. Hollow getting a little bit of a lead on Jay. Otherwise, very close here. Let's get a lead on Hollow. Hollow taking some back shots. That's where that 78% is. Jay open CT. Hollow just really raking that CT. I think this is going to go to Hollow unless Jay can turn it around with a little with that AC-20. We shall see. Hollow now open CT as Zelnega goes down and Tawars go down. The KDCM guys just dropping like rocks. It is one shot CT to two shot CT. Hollow's gonna pull out that 1v1. GG's Hollow. House and Fire and ganging up on Giggity here. That's kind of fun to say. Shones coming in for some back shots, really just trying to take House out. But I don't think that's going to happen. Poner just having a great shot on there. We've got Sneck still fresh here in the Battlemaster, and Jormungandr probably halved. Let's take a look here. Halved in that Marauder 2. Still throwing some fire down range, but the Darksea Corsair still really fresh, except for well, House and Hollow. I think Poner's still probably doing all right. Jormungandr, due to being halved, goes down to heat, and now it's Sneck in that Battlemaster. We'll watch that one go down. Some rack 5, since I think that doesn't jam on that one if I recall, and some other things. So Sneck just laying out the autocannon, but it's not going to be enough as the heat builds up. Fun bog fight. We had a Hollow versus Jay 1v1, you know, just having some fun here. All right, we are at oh, we'll take a look at the damages here while I'm here. 581 for House in the Incubus Saber. Good work as a light mech. As a light mech pile, I super appreciate what happened there. Dreadnought Beagle going down, but here's our matchup. The Black Knight 404 damage not found for Jay, which is just appropriate. Hollow, you can see that focus fire 349 versus 404. Jay spreading it around a little bit. Hollow just Hollow forcing him to do that by opening up that CT as early as he did. Jay hanging on with that Black Knight. All right, everybody, we're gonna hop out. Give me about 5 minutes or so for a bio. Actually, we'll take about 10, but or 5, but I'll be back with some more comp. This time it will count. We're gonna see Abens versus Equilibrium. I believe. Who's got home team? Equilibrium with the home team. Now this is a match to fight. This is for first seed, folks. This next one, and both teams are tied, so it is first to 3. It is a race to 3 matches. These are basically the top 2 leagues, as well as evidenced by the record so far. Frankly, this should be an epic match up next. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to set the timer up and I'll be back in 5. Have a great rest of the day if you cannot stay for the rest, but I hope to see you back here. This stream is not ending, so stay tuned. right. Hello, everybody. Thank you for bearing with me. Took me a little longer than expected with the timer, but we are back. Now, there is about 10 minutes before we get started for the next match. So bear with me. I'm gonna, maps is what we talk about and what I have here. So that's what we're gonna do. I don't have teams to do a quick scrim like we did the like some bog. That was a very, very fun bog match to cast. But now we are gearing up for Equilibrium versus Avens. Now, actually, you know what? As I'm thinking about it, I do have this delightful little fact sheet for the team. So let's take a look at Equilibrium. Equilibrium, let me see. Was formed after CS22 by that's last year's by GRAM, formerly of JGX and 5JDX. Just looking to bring in all the heavy hitters, and he found them. There's a large pulling from all sets. We've got GRAM, Basalt, Bonson, Chicken Man, 919, Duvix, Ghosty, MPG, Magic Pain Glove, Nate, Nyan, Polly, Shine Plasma, and Stimrog. That's a very full and powerful roster. There may have been a swap in there. I'm just working off the sheet I have. But yeah, they took first place in ISC. Looks like for Blood League, they took third place, and then first place in TOS too, as sort of that division. That's what got them into this individual or these invitationals in the first place. Going to move over to Avens. Avens also with a very heavy roster, founded by Bowser, who's just a long time comp player, been around pretty much as the comp scene has been around. Really, just a top level, one of the best, folks. If you want to learn stuff, listen to Bowser. Check out some of the Masters. If they do the Masters Challenge again, you can check that out if they have Bowser in there. Again, just absolutely doing stuff in here, and Avens is aggressive and mobile at his behest. Now they placed third in ISC, second in Blood League, and then took Tournament of Stars off. So they, but through the Blood League and ISC, they were able to get a second seed in Invitationals Knockout. Obviously, these are the seeds for everything. So here we've got Bowser, Chimera, Exothermic, Lizzie, Mech Warrior 414712, who I will affectionately call Mech Warrior numbers, Ettinger, Raquete, Placeria, Rick Rom, Scout, Derek, Texan, Scrub, Lord, Teos, and Zeos, because that's just fun. These folks coming from all over the place at just top tier gameplay, so this should be good. Speaking of top tier gameplay, both of these teams are tied for first going into this match for the seeding round. So this is one to look at. Both these teams, this is a game with stakes among the two top teams, not one to be missed. Excuse me. So yeah, that is sort of the long and short of where we are. Both teams tied, with both teams having lost a match to KDCM at that, folks. So that is also something as a testament to KDCM that they were able to take a match off of these folks. But let's see, what kind of a map should we talk about? Let's talk about Vitric a bit. It's a small map. It shouldn't take me too long. We're coming up on the time. Actually, speaking of, let me make sure that folks have their invites. Bowser gets an invite, and G. All right, so looking at Vitric, we all like to draw stuff on this map for reasons, but I'm feeling a little different today. What we saw with the past fight was basically a pushover by KDCM with the light scooting around towards this right side here. Now we don't know where this is going to fall in this tournament yet, or who's going to have what side, but what we assume things are relatively equal. What we have been seeing from EQ especially is a stack on one side of Vitric. Now this is important because this way they can all focus fire. What I was talking about before, I think, but when I didn't have the map up, is that there is just a divide here. Again, I'll mark that in purple. And there's a pass through, but for the most part, if you've got mechs on both sides of this line, if you're able to sneak some mechs around this side and maybe push into it here. KDCM once set their main thrust of their push over that low ground with the jets to get up there. You've got a cutoff here. That's something you can scout out. If there's a whole line, you know, if they have their line out here, you can just work your way in and around. This is a very interesting tactic taken by KDCM. But if we see EQ stacking one side takes that all away. And if a team decides to hop up the south, which I don't expect we'll see on this one, but basically this, now we have 4 mechs plus, you know, maybe some skirmishing in the front, but if they have lights left alone somewhere around Theta that they can just fire into that until these mechs get around to fighting them, and maybe score a kill or two. So we will we'll see how that turns out. Let's see. All right. Well, I described that a little quick. Some other stuff that we've seen on this map. Again, I don't expect it. Quite frankly, what I would expect is really just maybe a light fight over Theta, but I would expect Team 2 to possibly, or really whichever. Sorry, I'm grabbing the wrong tools again. To work their way around and maybe try to get in some back shots as you know, some trades happen. Both these teams very good at trade though, so we'll see where they develop. Maybe some along the sides, and then along the sides here on these ramp corners. Actually, this is the ramp, so this is the edge where you can kind of shoot from. And then some holding back. But we'll see both these teams very agile, very quick thinking. So we'll see how it turns out. Expect an Aben's push at some point, even with their long range. They're going to trade. Both these teams, excellent traders. It's just going to be a matter of who loses a mech first. Expect this to come down to the wolf packs. Wolf packs, we've been seeing 4.5, 5 on the wolf packs here for the most part. Let's see if either of these teams mix it up. But honestly, that's very strong. Those wolf packs can just really eat up the guys in the back and distract the traders. So we'll see how that turns out. Let's see. We've got folks coming into lobby at this point. So yeah, we are coming up on map ban. I'm going to send us over to the map selection room. If you're new here, the way that this tournament is working is that we select the mechs. Starts with team 1, they choose the first map, and then team 2 chooses the second, go back and forth, and then team 2 chooses the side of the first map and goes back and forth like that. This has been a round robin tournament. This is our final match to determine seeding. This will determine 1 and 2. So we'll see how it turns out. KDCM securing third in their match against DSC, which is a fun match to watch. So off we go with that. Or rather, that's complete. Those two. So they will be 3 and 4 going into the top 12 tournament starting in October. We're pulling the top 8 out of the queue to go against these top 4, making a top 12, and that will go for a number of weeks as a double elimination bracket versus this is a round robin. So each of these teams have fought each other to determine this seeding. Let's see here. EQ coming in. I'm going to leave them there for a moment. Liking, okay, Bowser still deployed, probably a last minute tuning of a mechs, just running against a scrim partner maybe. We'll see how that works out. And then we will get to that map selection that I just talked about. Sorry if it's a little all over the place, folks. Let's see. What else do we want to talk about? We talked about the maps coming up, how this is going to work. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of it. When we move to these private lobbies, we are able to work different, we're able to have different strategy, or not strategies, limitations. So we say then the event, or then the comp queue. which will be reopening on October 3rd if you want to get those rewards. And certain weapons will be banned or limited. Actually, no weapons will be banned, I think, at this point, since the HSL and the binaries have been fixed. But there are limitations. You cannot bring the scale shot omnipods into these private lobbies. Since the scale shot is banned, it's not something that we were able to have set up for the have set up for the comp queue. There was no way to really do it. It's based on the center torso, so we'll see how that goes. All right, let me see if Bowser is ready for an invite. All right, checking in here with both teams, making sure that they are ready. Once they give me the go, we will begin with the ban, or with the map ban is the program. Map selection is the process that we're using, and it is not a ban. They are not banning maps. They are selecting the order. So we'll be ready for that here. Right, we're almost ready. Just waiting for Bowser to be ready. Here. All right, sorry folks. This one is I'm running out of vamp material here. Let's see what else can we, I don't know. Yeah, we're just waiting on this. We'll do this map selection, get into the matches. And then we will have our seating sorted out for the top 12. Well, the top 4 of the top 12. There's a lot of layered phases. Let's see if I can get a ping up through Discord. Okay. All right, teams will begin the map selection now. They have both confirmed. All right, off we go. We're going to wait for first choice here. Hang on, let me pull up my scoreboard so I know what I'm working on. All right, EQ first, choosing Vitric. We've been seeing these short range maps being chosen earlier on, with Crimson being chosen last, so we'll see how that goes. We're going to start with that Vitric that we just talked about. We'll see where Avens, just Avens is playing chess with this whole thing. Both these teams are just such high brain plays. It's really a wonderful thing to watch from a competitive point of view and watch their motions and timing, because they are on it. All right, just waiting for Avens here. See if what Bowser gets his folks ready for. Crimson straight coming in early. All right. And then Polar. So we are going to bookend this with short maps, so that's kind of exciting. Would love to see mining coming last, but yeah, these teams choosing their best. Again, that momentum. We are going to be playing all 5, even though it is first to 3 that determines the seating here. We're going all the way through just to finish it out. Y'all get some extra drops going, not just the bare minimum. Checking the chat here as we wait. Someone making a prediction. All right, we've got Mining Collective. which will be followed by Hibernal. Oh boy, they're moving fast now. All right, let's see here. We've got EQ is going to be team 1 on Vitric. EQ is going to be team 2 on Hibernal. Okay, next up we are picking for Polar Highlands. All right, back to team 1 for EQ on Polar Highlands. Mining Collective, back to team 1. All right, they're switching every single map. All right, and then, well, maybe, hang on. EQ back to team 1. All right, here we go. They are not making it easy on me. We're going to have some time for swapping in between, so bear with me as we do that. All right. Our selections are complete. Let me just slow some stuff down here. All right. We're good. Right, switching over to Vitric Station. Go. Starting team 1's timer now. Okay, so we already talked. I'm gonna go ahead and well, I don't know. I should have thought about this a little better. We've talked about Vitric a bit here. Gonna go back to him a little bit. Let's see what other alternate strategies, because I don't know. I expect EQ to stack one side like they have been, and we'll see how Aben's responds to that. I really think this is gonna be a bit of a fight of attrition, but we'll see. But either team could really, Aben's, especially with the maneuverability, might decide to you know, send some wolf packs around the side. I don't know if they're gonna be taking any sort of any wolf pack with range that could maybe do a little bit of harassing. That might be useful, but ultimately, you know, we're going to have traders. That's obviously going to matter, but I think it's going to come down to the wolf pack. Once the first of a wolf pack falls, then the other team's going to jump. Expect Aben's to be very quick on that. All right. Yeah. Anything else that we'll need to suss out here? I don't really think so. Maybe a fight over Theta. Again, this is a small map. It's really, the caps are there for pressure more than anything. Because it's so short, you can just take out the other mechs and then you have free range to cap. Hopefully you've got enough. I have seen a couple of Vitric matches really just come down to that last mech, but it is like one-legged mech, so they do kind of matter, but it's not the worst. So yeah, that's basically what we're expecting for Vitric here. I don't expect any surprises from these teams, but hey, I am happy to be surprised. Let's see here. Let me get my my timer up so I can give these guys a 2-minute warning when appropriate. Oh, some banter going in the lobby. I'm gonna keep it here for now. Well, actually, no. Let's hop on over to the lobby. It'll be the more interesting of views here. There's only so much I could say about this map, especially since I covered it leading into the map as filler material. So here we go. Over. Team 1 is locked. 2's time beginning now, and as you can see, there is a timer above my head. That's basically the official time. Minus about half a second for me to drag a mouse. So, but these teams I don't think are going to take it. EQ not even making it to the 2-minute warning. Now, looking at these Alpha Charlie is really what you would expect for these teams to set up for their start. I'm curious about Bonson being in the center, probably a mech with jets, but that center, you can see it up in the corner there. You can kind of get in through the front, but then you got to pop out the side. That might be the path that Bonson's going to take there, or just jet right on up. Some mechs are unbothered. If Bonson happens to be in the Viper or something of some sort, they could just jump up there with ease. It might be just a way to declutter the ramps as you're moving up. But something else to talk about this map that I didn't mention in the filler material is that generally you want to have that high ground. We're going to see both these teams play the high ground. If you are in a brawl and one of your mechs drops, you got to drop. Now we've seen the brawls on this map push to the extreme side where the drops don't entirely matter. But then again, we have seen, I think it was a Marauder dropped in week 1 during the KDCM scrim, and that was a lot of weight off the field and another target. The idea of if you're going the top, stay up at the top, is that now you've got more mechs for the enemy to choose from. That's kind of what's important there, and you've got more weapons to fire on them as well. It's essentially if you've got everybody up top and one of your guys the enemy drops, it's an 8v7 at that point. Right now, this is less of a big deal if your mechs have the jets and the speed to counteract it, but we're going to see a lot of the skirmish play down below with mechs with speed and with jump jets. Those are very important on this map. So that's what we're going to see, and why I'm a little cagey about talking about that map. All right, we're going to go ahead and launch this. Get these teams underway for Vitric, because I've been talking about it for hours. So let's make it happen. Checking up on the chat, seeing how we're doing. A lot of people rooting for both sides. Hope you all are having a great time out there. All right, now we try being very careful out here. All right, seems I have avoided getting into a mech this time. That's good news. All right, here we go. Let's start with these swap sides when they come in, right? Yeah. All right, so we are looking at an Executioner from Lizzie, a Crusader 6T. We'll take a look at that. Phoenix Hawk 7S, so these are fast, jumpy mechs. A Mad Cat 1, Incubus Saber, the Viper, Mist. All right, so the Phoenix Hawk here is running light PPCs. We got a Mjolnir here, Grasshopper. That's a different one. We're running a couple of binary lasers, so we're seeing the binary lasers come into play here. Lizzie with the Executioner running ER PPCs and Fist, Gauss Rifle and ER Large, standard Mad Cat 1 for Chimera there. And the Crusader here. All right, so we've got our 2 initial caps taken by Salith and I think it's probably Teos over there, and we're starting some skirmishes happening here in the middle. Stimrog in his traditional place up top, getting all of the information in that mislinks, and we see we're going to see Avens here. And now that I'm thinking about that, let me make sure that we're on the right side. Yeah, we're seeing Avens here taking the north side of the map, but with a big spread. We see Equilibrium taking the center, a lot up top here. And ultimately, we're looking at Equilibrium making a liar out of me and just taking the north side, looking for angles, and basically abandoning the top. This is developing like a lot of quick plays that I've seen. So curious decision there. But again, Equilibrium also very mobile. So we'll see how they go. Stimrog catching a glimpse of it with just a little hop there, but taking some shots from the extreme back. Stimrog down to 84%. Let's take a look at that. Open CT at that, needing to twist a little bit. Chimera with that Mad Cat. Excellent shots on that. So Stimrog now sort of a weak link on the Equilibrium side as they gather for what looks to be a pushover to just take the rest of the top and kick, who is this over here? Scout Derek in the Shadow Cat off of the top, but he's going to be tucked in there harassing them until they do push. Nyan in the Hunchback getting some shots over there, just making sure that they do. Now we see Equilibrium having all 3 caps. We've got coverage, Ghosty and Bonson in the Crusader having coverage over Theta for if Avens decides to take that. But Avens just kind of like hanging out, looking for angles, mostly on Stimrock, I think. But they'll take what they can get. Meanwhile, we've got Equilibrium holding the caps more spread out, just kind of chilling here. We see GRAM and the Shadowcat moving on. So we got some Shadowcat on Shadowcat fight happening over here just to get those angles. Stimrog down to 55%. Did Stim take? Oh, Stim is now one touch. Got to play very carefully. All right, here we go. Aben's starting to make a move, having scattered out what's happening. Zeos and Tios moving over here for the Kappa point, which is just slivered. So they'll be able to flip that over. They're not too far behind in the cap count, so that will move the pressure along. Lizzie at 84% here in the XE. They're just starting to bleed a little bit of armor here, but they are keeping pace with Equilibrium, with the notable exception of Stimrock. Our Shadowcat in the back here, Scout Derek still holding off on their left flank, but very isolated. Should Equilibrium really pick up on that. GRAM going down to 77%. Aben's all, well, except for Zeos there, at 78%. So we're seeing some movement there. Both these teams moves, counter moves we're seeing here. Equilibrium might be looking for a way to Epsi. Some of this move towards the back. Never mind. We've got one moving towards Kappa, and we have Tios waiting in the wings here for Polycat. Polycat going to jump on there with the Viper. And then Tios probably going to start making a move here. Looks like he moved a little backwards. Now moving in to reply to Polycat, flipping that cap. Right now we have Theta changing hands. Aben's taking Theta from out underneath of Equilibrium, who drops to counter. Nyan Deer in the... Sorry, Nyan was in a Highlander, not a Hunchback. I read that one wrong. Little open in the back, little soft on the CT, so good focus coming from the Aben side. Zeos at 32% in that Viper, having taken some hits. I missed that one. They're all spread out. This is all moving so relatively quickly. Zeos is one touch. All right, so Zeos is off to do what cap countering he can be. Aben's neutralizes Kappa for the time being. We got a fight over Tios and Polycat. There we go. All right, so Tios manages to take Kappa back, pushing Polycat and the Viper off. GRAM was coming for backup, but that's no longer necessary. Tios is going to hold on to Kappa there, I'm sure. Bowser in the Crusader, hanging on the middle, just looking for angles, looking for Equilibrium to push over that hump. So he's looking for this angle here. You can see Bowser here, maybe some trading with Bonson, but that's what Bowser's looking at. He's waiting for them to push over. But meanwhile, Equilibrium still with, well, about to have the cap lead here. Just sees no need to do it. They don't have to go everywhere. They're just going to hold. Nyan a little soft again on that CT, still poking. Oh no, open here on that CT. Still poking, lots of structure left, especially at this range. Scout Derek getting a very good burn against, I think that's GRAM. We'll go check that out. Yes, that's GRAM getting a good burn there. Let's see what's happening with GRAM. GRAM a little soft, especially on that right shoulder. Now we have Aben's flipping Epsi. This is just caps on caps with Salus and Zeos. They're going to do it fast. Probably try to do more of a full cap on that, since there's two of them on that. And here Equilibrium is making the move. We are sending the 3 mechs of a Wolfpack plus Bonson, who, you know, might as well count, to counter Zeos, who is one touch, remind, and Salith in the Saber, who is absolutely fresh. Right now it is 3 on, I'm going to call it 1.5. No, they are jumping up to go after Scout Derek. Scout Derek getting pushed behind Salith, coming to help. GRAM getting taken out. Scout Derek managing to survive. Salith versus Dubax. Nyan getting taken down by Chimera. Polycat's floating around the outside here, while Scout Derek, who is in real rough shape right now. Let's get a look at that. Open in a couple places, tries to support Salith as he takes on Dubix. Now we've got Chimera over here, and the Mad Cat just focusing down that front, making Equilibrium pay for their push with Nyan there. Dubix going down in the Arctic Wolf as who came to Scout Derek dropping down. We've got Chimera out on the side here. As I saw, that side play, you got to watch out for that the top there. Aben's taken enough of the top to make that an issue. Polycat Bowser going down in the Crusader as we get a fight going over here by Theta. There goes Bonson, Chicken Man as well. Tio's coming in to clean up Polycat, and I think we've got Ghosty, and I'm not sure. Okay, Stimrog is on caps right now. Aben's currently with the cap lead, both in tickets and points. Ghosty going to go down really quick to the Equilibrium fire, and we've got Stimrog, who remember, it has been one touch CT for about 3 to 4 minutes at this point. Just looking to take caps, maybe snag a lead here and hold it. But looking at Aben's, there's not a lot that Stimrog can do here. Let's take a look at Salith. Salith a little bit open on the legs. I don't think there's going to be enough there. Lizzie coming in with a fresh executioner. Tio's open CT might be able to snag a kill there. Mech Warrior with an open CT. Nope, there we go. Tio's is just going to give a little smack to Stimrog to end this match in Aben's favor. Well played to Aben's. That's going to give them 1 win here. Make sure everything is going through. All right. Publish some of these here stats. There we go. And I'll send you guys over to the score while I get these folks swapped over. Taking a look at the damage real quick. 478. That's the Mjolnir with the binary lasers. Chimera in that Mad Cat just taking Stimrog to town with 748. Just some nice high numbers from the bigs on the Aben side. EQ meanwhile with some big numbers of their own. Stimrog unfortunately being held to 39 as a nature of getting cored out real early there, but we saw just moves and counter moves. That's what it came down to. Having Stimrog weakened and very conservative left it mostly 8-on-7 that entire match. All right, 1 second, folks. I need to swap sides. Yes, I believe this is correct. Let me just make sure. Some of these tags are mixing me up. I just want to. And we are moving on to Crimson Straight. All right, Team 1 beginning now. So this one. I'm going to move us over to the map room here. This one was a bit complex. So what we saw was basically Aben's developed a mech up there, the Mad Cat, and in general just sent things over here with a little Epsi cap, and then over to the top. While we saw Equilibrium basically push up top here with a little bit of movement this way, just really taking advantage of the whole map, basically splitting it. And then where we move from there, I'm gonna move to like a purple or a magenta and teal, so bear with me on the color swap here. We saw some development from Aben's over here towards Kappa, which brought which was, I'm not gonna say uncontested, but basically GRAM was left here on the Team 1 side, you know, to kind of counter Kappa with mixed results, because Aben's was able to get some mix over there. Am I doing this backwards? I have a sneaky suspicion that I am doing this backwards. No, I'm not. That was Aben's. Yeah, Tios. Meanwhile, we saw the teal. We saw some development over this way towards Epsilon, and that's ultimately where Equilibrium decided to push. Which did not entirely end. No, it wasn't. Yeah, that is where Equilibrium decided. Sorry, I'm getting things mixed up in my head now. And that was exacerbated a bit. Nyan in an open CT over here by Theta just got a bit caught out by some movement here, and then we had a mech die on Epsi, and then it was essentially 2-on-6, 2-on. 2-on-7. So we just saw essentially a collapse on that push, Equilibrium paying for that push. But we saw the caps going back and forth, being used as pressure, neither side letting them get too far away. All right, so now we're looking at Crimson Straight. I've talked a lot about this. What we're going to see from Avens being team 1, actually, I need to make sure that I swap that right there. All right. So what we're going to see from Avens on team 1, almost guaranteed, is a staged push, as I've been showing here. First to Epsi, and then onto the island if they are unopposed. Otherwise, we're going to get some snipe shots there. I am unsure what their Wolfpack is going to do from that point on, and also expect a push over here to island from EQ, I think, because the island you want to control unless you're using some sort of a radical different approach. We might see a little bit of development over Theta, but I think that's we're gonna see late development over Theta. We're gonna see these two teams shooting at each other for a little bit, scouting, pressuring each other. I think Avens are going to, EQ, we're gonna see develop a little more, maybe scout, like send a mech to scout the saddle, see what's going on, just really try to get that map awareness and see what's going on. They're excellent scouters. I mean, both these teams are, but we're going to see that. Will we see any tunnel action? I doubt it. Both these teams smart enough to keep the fight in line with their bigs. Actually, hang on. I need a prep for a time call out here. But I expect maybe we'll see a little bit around the platform and the island. I think it's really going to end up being a skirmish for the island. All right, hang on 1 minute coming up here for team 1. They might be about to lock. They've been known to do that on me, dropping that 1 minute warning as we've been talking about Crimson Straight here. What else could like a team 2 do? I don't expect Equilibrium to use this H4 snipe spot. I just don't. I would see maybe some Kappa to Epsi trades happening. So we're going to see, you know, some trades across Kappa to Epsi if they don't decide to take the island. And then from island, it's anybody's guess. I guess something that we could see, I'd be surprised if we saw it. Maybe it would be from Avens, I would think. We could potentially see a push along the backside of the island. But I think EQ would, they're very adaptable as well. I say that's probably about a, I don't know, maybe a 40-60% chance of succeeding. Maybe I could see my way to a 50-50 there. But that would be tough. I think trading for both these teams, one from the island, one from wherever they up, is really going to be the day. And then probably a Wolfpack fight somewhere. I imagine probably over here, Echo 4, Fox 4 by the island, where Overwatch can happen. But again, I am prepared for, well, I'm not entirely prepared, because how can you prepare for surprises? But that's just the way it goes. Let's see. Yeah. That's the way it goes. These two teams playing very, very well. Love to see how both were playing the last time. Avens with that north side hold with the low ground worked out for them, which surprised me, quite frankly. But as we saw, once EQ began that push, Avens was largely on that high ground, not letting them use it against them that much. All right, both teams are locked. I'm done talking about Crimson. So I'm going to go ahead and launch these folks into a match. Here we go. This will be the second match in this series. Make sure my sides are swapped. That is correct. All right. Loading into Crimson Conquest. Right now, Avens eking out Equilibrium. But again, match is still young, but they are 1 point up. Both these teams coming into this match tied if you're entering here a little late. 9 points to 9 points, duking it out for first seed in the top 12 tournament. ADCM earlier today securing third seed over the Dark Sea Corsairs in a 3-2 matchup with a bonus bog. We're around for that. So yeah, here's where we're going to see a pause here on EPSI so they can focus that island, see where it is, and then over here from the Sigma Cap point, can really take the island. Or we could just see a you know, long range brawl for the a long range weapons brawl. Let me clear that up for the island. The island really a key point at this point, unless a team decides to go full theta, but then you can react from the island. The key is not to stay stagnant on the island. All right, let's take a look at equilibrium. We've got the Bloodass Rancor. That's going to be long range. The 5S Stalker with Basalt. That's also going to be our long range. The Skokomish PPCs probably, and some other stuff. Let's check out this Night Star, ER Peeps and Light Gauss. There's our 6 ER. Chimera with the range. Bowser probably in ER Peeps for this one. Yep, ER Peeps. Scout Derek in that Hag, and everything else. Shadowcat, and then we've got our Saber. If anyone wants to look at the Saber build, there you go. Some Flamers, SRMs, Viper, and Mistlings. Basically a 3-man Wolfpack, 5-man Sniper. There you can see they are pausing on that EPSI to see what the heck Equilibrium does. Now Equilibrium coming in with their own Saber and their own Viper, going to check out Theta probably. G-Ram coming in with the Shadowcat. Now Chicken Man in the Skull here with 3 ER Peeps and an LB20 Pain Glove with probably oh yes, that's right, a light and heavy is the... Oh well, here we've got Nyan exercising this this point. If things weren't going to get glitched, I would check out her view, but it's very long range. She gets pinged by a PPC for one point. So looks like what's happening here is Equilibrium is expecting Abins to take the island and are looking to hopefully deal with that. I don't think Nyan is going to get a whole lot of damage from that point. Looks like Equilibrium also scouting out Theta and taking it, which will leave Abins to respond. Abins with 1 mech, which I believe is Scout Derek. Yeah, the Shadowcat here trying to counter some Sigma snipes, using that Hag at long range in order to get some damage. Hang on, let me make sure I'm not map casting you guys. All right, so our Sigma crew here made up of Basalt and Bonson, just kind of holding off for that island, and we see both teams not opting for the island, which again is a surprise. We've got Scout Derek who's going to hold it, but Equilibrium doesn't seem too interested. Instead, they are making a play for Saddle and to hold Theta and Kappa. Avens being distributed to... I'm not entirely sure where they're going to head from here. Looks like they are eyeing Theta, which is full cap, so it's going to take them a hot minute, but it looks like they're going to move to counter the Saddle from Theta's side, and meanwhile try to keep a couple snipers in case anyone pops up. Now Equilibrium, knowing this full well, being a smart group of people, are down below here at the platform where there's not a whole lot to counter. Actually, no, here we go. Equilibrium having effectively kind of baited Avens to Theta a little bit, seeing that Cap, are now moving to push on the snipers. However, we do see Avens moving to cover, kind of anticipating that, seeing the scouts call out, but they are not really quite committing enough to counter this push. There goes Scrublord and Salith coming in behind, maybe to counter Pain Glove in the Phoenix Hawk, but right now we've got a 4-on-2, which could turn into a 5-on-5. Scout Derek getting jumped on the island. Hang on, let me get a view of this real quick. Scout Derek going down very fast to some Equilibrium stuff. There we go. CT through the Shadowcat as the rest of the Equilibrium push across the water happens. One mech still way out on Theta, so this is essentially an 8-on-6 until that mech gets back. Chimera hoping for some shots over here, but not really any angles, if anything. So again, now we're looking on an 8-on-5 in favor of Equilibrium, and start to look at the numbers showing that. Okay, hang on. Here we've got that's probably the Saber. Hang on, give me a name. No, that's Theos, and the Viper is taking over and gonna get some back caps here. Now that Scout Derek is down, we're gonna switch over to the cap game a little bit. Probably gonna sliver Kappa and come back, maybe not. All right, so we've got Stimrog sitting on EPSI here with the Saber against Bowser and Scrublord, not taking that fight very smart. Stimrog Salith open up at 78%. Texan Scrub Lord, what happened to you so fast? You were okay, and then you weren't, taking some big hits from the Equilibrium. Oh, getting halved. That'll do it as we go underground for the news from the Weird Gopher. Now we've got Equilibrium shifting over to the right flank here of Abens, looking to get an envelopment, with Abens being very tucked into one or two quadrants here. Looks like we're sending one or two off for the caps, since Chimera has come in here, just basically condensing the Avens line and giving Equilibrium the whole map. Bonson and the Crusader going down, starting to even this up a little bit. Chicken Man in 72% in this. Orion in the skull, mostly open in the back though. Pretty fresh in the front though. Scrublord and Bowser starting to harass those flanks. Salith crossing in, maybe to try to get a pick on Chicken Man. I don't think it's going to quite work. But Pankla firing on one of the other mechs, failing to see Salith move in. But we do have shots from the island covering Chicken Man, and Salith is going to pay for the pick with Nyan in that Rancor, taken out, beat up as it is. Both teams, actually, I take that back, not both teams. Looks like Avens looking a pretty beat up here compared to those percentages on the Equilibrium side. Texan Scrubload holding in there with the Mistlinks. G-Ram pushing in with the Shadow Cap, and Painglove just continuing to harass this front line, trying to survive against that Night Star over there, just pinging in from that left flank, trying to bring things around. Avens cycling right, which is pretty good, with what is it, Zeos coming around from that tip from taking Theta, and playing around that outside, taking out 90 or getting that pick. Zeos getting Chicken Man as well. No, I must have misread that. There's no way Zeos got that. Someone got Chicken Man in this melee over here. Look at this damage spread for Avens. Avens with a lot of mechs on the field, but so very damaged. Having Equilibrium down, Nyan and Chicken need to make it up. This is closer than it looks. Again, weapon advantage going to Avens. The armor advantage probably pretty even. Stimrog going down to heat. That's not good. That's going to really tip this against Equilibrium. 6 on 3. That's a lot to ask of anyone. They have to start closing some of these deals here. Now, Basalt all the way out in the armor. With the Stalker trying to counter Zeos, who is looking fairly beat up. Let's see what we're looking at here. Legged. So Basalt needing to take a leg. And meanwhile, we got Polycat and the Viper kind of off on the side here, waiting for Bowser to come in with the Crusader. Now, Bowser, pretty beat up, halved, and a weak CT, but still has armor there to burn. Lizzie with the 5S, open CT. I think that will counter Basalt there. Basalt a little fresher, still trying to trade as Bowser chases down Polycat. Polycat turning away from the fight. Polycat moving very slowly. Polycat legged, that's why. All right, so Polycat just trying to hold on. Shield legs in the water as Bowser crests around. But there's going to be a range different there with, you know, basically the heavies. Basalt takes down the Night Star, but now has to contend with Lizzie over here. We'll see if we can get that fight over there in the back between Polycat and Bowser, but we're looking at Basalt and Lizzie here. Basalt getting probably halved, to Lizzie being one-touch CT. Zeos and the Viper at extremely long range. Polycat getting Bowser down. We've got a mech going for Sigma, looking to secure some caps for Avens here. Basalt looking to hold on, get Polycat a little bit of support. Lizzie's really one touch, just can't allow. There we go. Basalt open every CT here, going against Zeos, who is legged with an extreme range advantage. Polycat looking to hold off Chimera there with the Mad Cat, who's starting to get some angles. Gonna need Basalt to take that out, but Basalt goes down. So it is just Polycat and Stimrog here. Polycat goes down. Let's go track Stimrog here, who's been trying to hold the caps. They only have to hold a couple extra seconds here. Even with a 2-cap. Stimrog pulling out once they started to go down there, playing the cap game, since everything got focused on that island fight I was talking about at the beginning between the matches. Stimrog coming out, making this a cap game. This one's going to go to Equilibrium on caps. Oh, this is so close. Honestly, Stimrock could probably kill everybody else on that team, but doesn't need to, nor does he have the time. He's got about 1 second, well, less than a second. Equilibrium pulling out the win by Caps with a very excellent fight. Again, moves, counter moves. Watch these teams, folks. This is why they are the top 2 teams. Let's go ahead and take a look at this damage. I expect a lot of damage here, quite frankly. 783 from Basalt just doing the farm. Nyan also with 662. On the other hand, we've got the Avens Mex, Chimera, Lizzie, and the Mad Cat and the Stalker, both with almost 800 from Lizzie, 4 points away. And then Chimera with the 800. Scout Derek and that Shadowcat just getting caught out there on the island, only able to do 67% against that EQ Wolfpack. All right, let's scoot on over to the scoreboard real quick. Y'all can check out some of the more detailed stats, see who shot their friendlies and whatnot. But very, very close game. Very, very well played by both teams. To go ahead and I need to swap sides again. So 1 second, folks. I'm going to be a little quiet and awkward as I do this. All right, hang on. Checking it out. I think we're good. Okay, we're good. All right, our next map is going to be switch sides there, Polar Highland. Gonna go ahead and begin Team 1's timer now. And that was a heck of a fight going down there. We did not see this. We did see Nyan take on this sniper spot over here in Hotel 4, abandoning it quickly. Once it was determined that that Avens was not going to take the island. So we saw a little bit of island play going here, cross to Theta, and we saw Avens really kind of looking like a saddle play at first, but then developing over onto the island for an eventual push across the water. Meanwhile, EQ, as we saw, set up with the EPSI snipers along EPSI. The lights kind of pull back here over into Gamma, where we saw that envelopment. Right, man, these teams switching sides. EQ is Team 1, was Team 2. Yeah, so this was the EQ side, pushing into sort of this Gamma side and making that work. That's kind of how it went. It was you're seeing moves, counter moves. Look at this. You can really see the skirmish lines. If you look at this, like I don't know if anyone had any history classes where they looked at sort of like battle maps and developing maps of this war or X war, but you see these skirmish lines. You can almost see that if you look at the mini map on these matches. It's one of the things that makes them so excellent. All right, just gonna check on the chat here real quick. All right, we are still going, which is what I need to know. All right, Team 1's still working on it. All right, so we are going to push on over to Polar Highlands, and we're going to talk about that. Hang on, let me make sure. Nope, we are on the scoreboard for that entire thing. I'm sorry, folks. I'm going to head on back to Crimson Stray. Take a look at the map. Just the quick recap to what I just stated. Basically, Avens developing out here towards Theta, and then back towards Gamma. EQ developing to the saddle. And then back to the island once they saw that it was going to be uncontested. All right, Team 1 locking, Team 2 beginning now, and then pushing over the water, and across this side as well to get a nice little pincher and corralling them into this Charlie 3, Charlie 4, couple of grids there. And then once you're surrounded like that, it tends to be sort of a done deal. It's largely cleanup. Unless you can sort of develop more lines of skirmish. All right, over to Polar. as promised. Both these teams, I would expect EQ to make a play for Gamma here. And then maybe take a look around Avens. Probably going to set up for a quick little receive, just in case. This is the wrong color. Sorry. Gonna set up for a quick little receive. Scout it out. I expect them to scout out a little more of FC Theta Kappa here and rejoin here based on previous patterns. But again, they have mixed it up against Avens, and Avens being very, I don't want to say reactive, it's not quite the right thing, but they see things and they move. They react, right? I wouldn't be surprised if they also send someone over to Kappa and back. We'll see where they decide to push, but Avens certainly known to push, as is EQ with their long range mechs once they smell weakness. So expect a little bit of a fight here. Where would I put the Wolfpack fight? I think it's going to be around India 8, India 9 era. I think we're going to stray towards the south of the map rather than the north, but we'll see where they ultimately end up going. Both these teams very, very talented, very mobile, and it's sort of, once you get, if they were facing KDCM, you know they're going to prepare for a push, but they're facing each other who aren't necessarily known for that initial aggressive push like KDCM, but they will push once they sense weakness in your trading line, just to put pressure on that flank. Everybody collapses together and then run up the line there. So it's really, the setup is all just temporary to see where their traders are, and then they react from there. These are opening moves again only. I don't know how this one's going to turn out, because both these teams are very dynamic and counter each other constantly. Halfway through the map, we're going to see something completely different. I'm going to see, halfway through the match, not the map. Although halfway through the map could look a little different too. All right, I'm going to make sure everyone is on the right side here. Equilibrium should be Team 1. Yes, that is correct. I'm just going to send us over to the lobby for now until 2 locks. Looking at the timer, we're at 2 minutes. As Avens only shows 6 in party, that is going to be problematic. Looking to rebuild some mechs, maybe do some last minute counters. We'll see how they turn out, but that is not what I expected when I looked away from my map there. But here we are at 7. We're getting there. I'm gonna have to give them a 1 minute warning. We have about a minute and a half left here, a little less. See how we end up. I wonder who is building their mech furiously. Mech warrior numbers. All right. Give them a 1 minute warning once they get down to it. Probably just sorting stuff out, making sure there's our 1 minute warning. And they are getting into position. Now, I'm going to take a little look here while we haven't been getting APIs. That's unfortunate. All right, there's Team 2 locked. We're going to go ahead and launch. I was going to talk about lances. Actually, let's have to hit enter first. That doesn't count. So something to pay attention to here, folks. In the regular season games, which are all run or historically have all been run via the private lobby, just like we're running these ones. Did I send you to the map room? Good Lord. All right. These are done in lobbies. You can see what lances folks are in, and that is to your benefit, especially on large maps like this, and in some maps where, sure, we're gonna hang out here. In some maps where like old Tourmaline, like the old drops, which I think you can still see on Skirmish, I think, where they're very far away from each other, you can get a hint of what they're doing. If they're all grouped together in one, you might surmise that there's probably a push here. If there's a little more spread out, Like if they've got 3 in, like in the case of Polar, if I saw 3 mechs in the southernmost point, I would expect maybe a heavy Wolfpack presence at Kappa, just trying to get that pick. So these are things that you can look at. These are things that you can, pay attention to. Look at your map, see where the distribution is, and figure out, hey, where would I put a mech if I were in that? So we'll see where we end up here. All right, we are in there. Let me make sure everything is correct. Got to wait till they're put down to make sure that everything isn't tipped for you. But we're looking at a Shadowcat here with some Gauss lasers and light machine guns, and that is Scout Derek. All right, here we go. We've got Zeus in the Viper Medusa. We've got ourselves a Death Strike here for Chimera. That is a couple of Gauss and basically heavy. We've got a Narc and some PP. The Narc for tracking, I assume, because I'm not seeing any viable LRMX here, and I'm not going through each one. We're looking at Zeus in the heavy laser. That's interesting. That's going to be toasty, but it's going to hit hard. Viper. All right, so that is Equilibrium here taking Epsilon, and let's go ahead and take a look. We've got Stimrog in the Saber. Over here we've got Nyan in the Skull. Sorry, that's the Skull, not the Skokomish. That's a Hag and heavy mediums. That's an interesting build. Not the Chicken Man special here. We've got Ghosty in the Hunchback with some SRMs and medium X-Pulse. We're seeing X-Pulses and binary lasers on this draw from EQ. I think this is going to end up, this is an aggressive brawl from EQ. Quite frankly, I didn't see this happening. All right, so we're looking at Avens. Just going to go ahead and take Kappa down here with Zeus and the Viper. Scout Derek going to run a little bit of interference, see if he can get a scout, see what's going on, but he's on the wrong side of the map. Might catch a little glimpse, but I don't think he's seen it. Equilibrium going to push the gamma point. As we mentioned, Avens might decide to take that team to being a little closer, and they certainly are grouping up around that, but not quite enough. Equilibrium pushing up here, and seen Nyan taking a grazing hit from as we push. Hang on, were those large lasers? No, those are our binary lasers from the Crusaders, as Equilibrium gets aggressive and takes Theta en masse. So that is going to put it 3-2. Now, this is a bit of a pressure. They've been sitting at 1-3 for a little bit here, so they do have the disadvantage, and that advantage towards Avens Caps is growing every second, so they need to make this happen fast. Nyan not quite taking the front. Everyone sort of trading shots with the sniper's nest over there. Nyan pushing ahead very alone. Look at that distance. Ghosty and GRAM and Shine Plasma now looking to catch that right flank, but Nyan being the sole target. But it looks like Avens didn't have their line developed quite soon enough. Looks like Nyan's legs going down. Some great shots from Lizzie in the Stalker, still using those 6 ER large, enough to take Nyan down as Equilibrium tries to push around here, taking Chimera down, but leaving Lizzie at their back. Shine Plasma Ghosty going after Bowser here in the Skull, who's pushing back, while Bonson and Magic Pain Glove with those X pulses push the top and push the snipers down, relieving of that. Meanwhile, Bowser going down to that Ghosty fight. We've got GRAM and Stimrog just making real quick work of Lizzie there. Watch that happen. Teos in the Phoenix Hawk really kind of messed up here with the light PPC standing still to take Magic Plane Glove's Cataphract out of the game. What was on that Cataphract? Did we even take a look? Med Pulse and LBX, that's right. The X Pulse. Bonson taking the high ground and using it with those binary lasers. Teos finally going down. Zeus going down. Mech Warrior and some numbers going down. Equilibrium with the brawl, only losing 2 so far, is gonna essentially have this on kills. They killed fast enough that they've got, they could send 2 off, still have 4 mechs to cap. Now, Scout Derek not gonna make it easy for them. Wasn't able to cap Theta to give that 4 cap pressure, but is pulling back towards Epsilon to really see if he can scout it out. Now, the Shadowcat certainly has some speed, but the Black Lantern and Incubus on Equilibrium are just going to be able to, they're going to be able to cap so much faster, and they are moving to head them off. This is not a defensive cap strat at this point from Equilibrium. They're not going to shift it into that. They are in active hunting mode. Just kidding. They're going to head over towards Kappa. They know that Scout Derek is headed towards Epsilon, but it's going to have to be there for a while because they've full capped it. Heading back out, let's take a look at who else is doing what. G-Ram and the Black Lantern. We'll be back for you momentarily. Bonson just gonna hold Theta. Not much to do there. We've got a couple mechs holding Gamma. That is our XC and our Hunchback, the slower one. So it's going to be cap and hold with a Black Lantern and an Incubus head hunting squad. Mostly the Lantern at this point. Incubus taking that cap, but more consistently fast than the Lantern. Lantern coming around just hunting for Scout Derek. Let's go ahead and take a look at Scout Derek. With that Hag, though, could make a difference. Weak legs, though, and I think just getting legged right there as I clicked away. Yep, so Scout Derek going to go down to G-Ram here, just going to get picked out. Hide the leg, Scout. You can extend this at least until Stimrog gets here. Maybe get G-Ram. G-Ram, I think, just lost the leg as well, so it is leg versus leg. G-Ram eking it out against Scout Derek there. Another good fight, but Equilibrium, this one not as close as the previous one. Equilibrium just pushing so hard into that, very aggressively taking that Gamma Hill where they suspected that Avens would end up. All right, let's see here. Go ahead and take a look at the lobby stats, but in the mean, we've got Nyan being held to 85, getting legged really quick by the Avens focus fire, and also being the one that was way out in the front, was able to get very focused. But look at this damage spread. No one hit 400 on EQ side. No one. That's a beautiful spread right there. No one is called out. That is the damage that you want to see on a push. Well done for EQ. Very well done. Did not use their wolf pack to lead the charge, but made it happen. All right, I'll send you over to the scoreboard while I swap sides. Oh, that was a win for, hang on, take a look. That was a win for Equilibrium. That's right. Yes. Okay. So that is 2-1 at the moment. We're gonna swap sides again so that Equilibrium is team. All right. Swap is complete. We are moving on to Mining Collective. All right. So taking off on that, let's go take a look at sort of what happened here. We'll do a quick debrief on this. Again, not too much to, well, actually Equilibrium surprising. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these blue lines because I was incorrect. I think for Avens, I was basically correct. But EQ, doing the push strat, right up the side here, Golf 9 is where Nyan met her end, but they were able to push up to Gamma, and really just take this high ground and force, this is where our fight went down. A little bit back here as well, and a fight back here in Fox 10. That is where EQ decided to just take the ground. Gamma is the very obvious point for Avens to start from. That's generally where the rotation goes on this map, not calling it NASCAR. It's just very much more deliberate, but that's just the way the rotation tends to go. And Equilibrium saying we don't have to do that. We can just take Gamma and push him off. And that's exactly what they did. A well-executed push by Equilibrium, I think, caught Avens completely off guard until they saw Nyan pushing across. We saw some X-Pulse play there. I wish I could have focused a little more on that, but saw some medium X-Pulse going on, some binary play. Now that these things are fixed and tweaked, we're going to see some interesting use. So check some of those builds that I noted at the beginning. All right, Mining Collective. Gosh, I have no idea. Now that Equilibrium has pulled out a push, we could see it again. Quite frankly, Mining very pushable, very tradable. I just don't know. Looks like Avon's lining up. I'm going to take a look at where we're lining up here. All right. So we have a large contingent. I'm going to be orange because it's spooky season now. A large contingent on Charlie, a couple on Alpha, and a couple on Bravo. So expect a scout here on Bravo because you can get almost instantaneous views across the top half of this map with a jump scout. So probably a Viper or Mislinks. Let's see here. And who we got in there? Chimera and Scrublord. So Scrublord's probably the scout. Chimera probably going to take position over here on Delta 3, get some of those shots across. Now they have the close side of Theta. And I'm doing that thing. No. We're on the map strat. We're right. Hang on, I think I just messed. Nope, we're good. All right. So that's what this distribution here. I'll swap over to lobby so you can look here at what this distribution looks like in terms of who is set up where and why I'm talking about this. Taking a little bit of a different approach. All right. So yeah, it looks like we're going for probably a heavy, split it in half, get some scout, hold Delta 3 as long as you can. I think this is the match that, and it's looking like the distribution that maybe Avon's lost against KDCM. I think it was Avon's that lost the mining drop. All right, we've got a bit of a shift. Team 1 is now so we'll get that going. All right, yeah, so Avon moving things a little more split towards Charlie Alpha. So yeah, we're going to look at a cap and hold strat here from Avon's, with probably going to move to the south of the map, I think, but they don't want to get pushed by EQ along that Fox line, so they're not committing everybody. If EQ pushes Fox line, you're going to want the sniper over here in Delta 3. Now, looking at EQ's distribution, looks like they're going Alpha and Bravo. That's along the outsides of the map. I don't know if that is going to be their final distribution. They've still got some time. They're still 10 tons over figuring out their maps. Again, they've got the time to lock. But if that's more or less what we're looking at, nope, here we go. All right, now we're shifting. We are still heavy Bravo. We've moved 2 to Charlie, and 2 to Alpha. If we're looking at this, Charlie, Bravo, sorry, this is, they're mixing around. All right, so we've got a heavy presence in Charlie. That makes sense if they're going to push up and try to counter this south side. I think EQ is going to try to take the south side of this map. So looking at what we're looking at, again, I'll give you a peek at the lobby here. Not that much is happening, but you can take a look at where we're looking at distribution here. If we go back to the map real quick, we're going to see that, you know, we've probably got Alpha Charlie, our heavies, especially seeing Nyan, GRAM out there for a scout on Alpha. And then we've got Bravo, Chicken Man, going to be a heavy, fast mover, moving from there in case they need him. And I'm not sure I don't remember what Shine usually runs. Bravo could be heavy a bit as well. So they're probably going to develop the eastern side of this map and then move to the southern. I think that's ultimately their plan of movement. I'm going to send us over to the lobby to watch the last few minutes here. Again, oh, actually, let me check my scoreboard. EQ is team 2. There we go. All right, so we're fixing the scoreboard. And there's our lock from GRAM. I don't really have too much to say, so we are going to move on to the 4th match. Now we've got Equilibrium up 2. I'm sorry, they are up 1. They are at 2 wins. This could be the deciding match for the seeds, or we could tie it up. Take a look at the chat while we load in. Yeah, just that other match is just wrapping. Okay. Staying out of a mech now, making sure that I am on the right screen, which I am. We're just waiting for these teams to oh, there's the music. So off we go. 9 in the Direwolf whiskey, which is a typical sniping Direwolf. All right. So here's our Charlie contingent, which are the Crusader, Viper, Rifleman. I'm interested to see if those might be some binaries. No, Large and Gauss from the Rifleman, Crusader with some ERP. So Basalt going to go and take the back wall. Nyan, which I didn't expect, but not the worst. We've got Gauss and Large with some micro. So that build running a little hotter than usual. GRAM noticing some PPC fire coming from the other side in the most obvious way. Let's see. So there's our taken. Let's see what we got. Chicken Man with the XE taking that spot, and Shine Plasma. So Equilibrium taking the west side of the map. Aben's also developing the east side of the map with a heavy southern presence. So we've got MechWarrior here in the Mjolnir with the binaries again. Here we have ourselves a Scout Derek in the Hellspawn with, again, those X pulses. We're seeing Aben's experiment with some X pulses, I think, probably finding them of use with some of their knife fighters. We've got ourselves a fire starter with the 2 light PPCs. What's on our Death Strike? Gauss and High Alpha, more or less. Let's see, what else might we look at? Bowser in the Crusader, just hopping this data point. No one really committing to it. On Equilibrium side, just enough to snag it and hold it. All right, so we've got a cap and hold coming from Equilibrium. Aben's now having to figure stuff out here. Since they've got the side here. So Lizzie and the XE hanging around the cakes here with a PPC Pop-Tart. Just trying to hold out. Basalt just looking to maybe tickle Theta a bit. You know what? For those of you not familiar, ooh, looks like Nyan taking a strike over there with the Direwolf. Here's more or less Basalt's view. You can see it's really long range. He's going to be doing limited damage, but it's enough to tickle Theta and kind of keep him out. So Equilibrium wants to draw the fight onto their side. So they have Theta. That's why make Aben's need to take the move. And there we go. On UAV watch, nicely shot, Basalt. All right, now Bonson just kind of scouting around here on the Echo 4 side as Aben's flips Sigma. Smart move, send 2 over, make it fast. Now the tides have turned. Equilibrium now needing to make the shift to do something, and Aben's now taking the north half of the map. Equilibrium getting tucked in the corner. Basalt's fire, if Aben's pushes out from this cover, Basalt is going to come heavy into this match. Chicken Man trying to hop out in this little corner. I think we saw him get pinned in a previous match. Either way, I see lots of mechs getting pinned between the smokestacks there. But meanwhile, Aben's Wolfpack just kind of pop-tarting, scouting, trying to figure out what they're looking at. Teos and who else shot Chicken Man there? Who was that? That must have been Teos and Teos. I feel like they're the Batch brothers right now from the Mighty Ducks there, just taking it out on Chicken Man. Not a whole heck of a lot of damage, but enough. Opening up an arm, which definitely will take it out a bunch of that XE's close range capability. All right, so here we have the Aben's Wolfpack really pressuring this Sigma corner in the map as Equilibrium just pushes for Gamma. We've got Shine Plasma in the Mistlings on cap duty. We've decapped Theta, so it's going to come down here. Aben's with a cap lead. Teos taking a big hit over on this side of the map, probably from Chicken Man, just with those peeps. Let's see what that opened up. That's a CT open for Teos. No good. Their Wolfpack is going to fall back here over to this other high ground. Meanwhile, we've got the Echo 4 high ground with Nyan having pushed up in Magic Pain Glove here. Scout Derek sneaking in behind with this Huntsman. Let's see how this goes. I don't know if... Oh, there we go. Shine Plasma spots him. Nyan getting a little opened up there. Or just a little cooked. It's just a little back armor, probably related to that airstrike that we saw earlier. Meanwhile, Zeos takes this opportunity to take Theta and really kind of secure that cap win. This could come down to caps the way that these are playing, but it depends on this fight here over Echo 4. Equilibrium maintaining the high ground, Bonson paying for it, but holding it. Really just open on the legs. Aben's using their jump jets to counter this and getting Bowser up on top. Equilibrium now crowding down onto the side, in danger of going into the death zone. Nyan Deer taking a couple hits. Magic Pain Glove trying to stop from the side. Teos finally going down in that Phoenix Hawks. Looks like we've got a light fight over there by Sigma finally developing. Looks like it's a 2-on-1. I'm not entirely sure who's over there. Let's see if I can narrow it down based on everyone who's there. It might be Lizzie. Yeah, Lizzie over there trying to hold Sigma for them while Equilibrium pokes away at Gamma, sending it away. Basalt still up on the back, might be getting some shots over on Sigma. Lizzie goes down to Heat. All right, Chimera pushing up in the Death Strike, but just dropping from Nyan, coring out the CT. Aben's looking a little worse for wear here right now. It is 8, well, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on 4 right now. In favor of Equilibrium, but we see the damage racking up. We see GRAM and Nyan. GRAM down to 36%, as we usually see him after this fight, though GRAM's well out. Nyan at 57, probably halved. Unsure if there's weapons left. I know there is a split build on this. No, she's got everything. She's just messed up structure-wise. Bronson still holding on here at 49% and legged. All weapons on the field. Magic Pain Glove going down there. Mech Warrior, that looked like maybe to Heat. Unclear, but one-touch CT. Polycat coming around to try to get that pick off of Mech Warrior. Here we see Scout Derek getting shot out from Basalt on that end, barely tickling him as he tucks in here, going up against Texas Scrub Lord, who would much rather close. I'm sorry, that's not true. They're on the same team. Texas Scrub Lord going after that. Zeos running the cap game while Scout Derek just kind of tucks in here with the Huntsman. Do we have the main? Oh, well, there we go. We do not. So now we've got Zeos up against Basalt and whoever else can shoot him at this point. It's looking a little grim, getting a couple shots. Nyan closing the deal with Zeos. That is going to be a win for Abens, which is going to tie this up, folks. This one's going to be, we are going tied into the last match, which is super exciting. Let's take a look at these damage here. Basalt at 600, making good use of some range quirks there. Ultimately really good scores across on EQ. Some 100 damage here. The fire starter a little low for that, honestly. The Huntsman could probably have done better as well. Bowser getting really just kind of stuffed at $200 damage in that Crusader, just by the EQ. And this Mjolnir, folks, try to build that one. That Mjolnir with those binary lasers is kicking some butt right now. Mech Warrior making excellent use, pulling out a 628, and that puts him at a match high. Unfortunately, not enough to. All right, last match here. We are going to Hibernal Rift, which is going to determine it. Sorry, folks, just doing a side swap here. Then I will be talkative again. Yes, right. Right, all right. Bowser Imposter. All right. I missed. Who did I miss? Hang on. I missed someone here. Maybe it was just an absence swap. Okay, sides are complete. Swapping us over to Hibernal. All right. Starting timer for team 1. And I need to make sure EQ is on the overlay. All right. So back to looking at what happened there. What we saw. let's see here. We saw assaults on the EQ side. Pull back here. But basically the way that they developed was along this east side with a bit of a presence towards the south. And then likewise for the other team as well. And really just things developed from there. We ended up with a north-south split a bit, and some fights over this high ground here in Delta 4, Delta 5. That's mostly where we saw a lot of the fighting, again in these low grounds, with some cap exchange. This is really sort of another one of those reactive games, smaller map, but both teams playing it very well. Scouting the other team, reacting to it. Aben's able to pull out a win, putting us at a tie map right now, or tie match. Is 2-2 this match to decide the winner. All right, let's take a look. All right, that's more or less what happened there. Let's talk Hibernal Rift. Now we have seen, pretty sure it's EQ, use a little spot up here when receiving some pushes. I don't think Aben's going to use it, but it's entirely possible. What I expect Aben's to do more is develop their side of the map, as they are fond of doing. So they're going to develop kind of along here, maybe send a light over here to Kappa, and probably want to SC2 if they develop along that line. Now EQ having shown us a push, again, this is a very pushable map. The question is, does Aben's, oh, sorry, I missed a lock here while I'm chatting. There we go. Equilibrium showing us some strong push strats over there on Polar, so could do so again, although with Polar less of a chance for your or rather with Polar there is more of a chance than Hibernal for the opposition team to spread out. So expect Avens to be in touch with each other in weapons range for sure. Would they be expecting a push? I don't know. That EQ aggressive push is really throwing me for a loop. But I'm so glad to see it. It was a beautifully executed push. Could they do it again? We shall see. Avens with a very strong receive position if they decide to do that, which might be the point of the scouts. Otherwise, some standard, I'm sorry, that is, get rid of the arrow there. You know, you've got some decent trade concave here on the team one side that can develop very quickly. We could see a push up here through Kappa though, through Avens. That's an option too. Again, with these two teams, I have a hard time keeping them straight from what happened in the previous matches, but one of them did a Kappa push that was actually quite effective. That is also a very strong push, even if you think, or maybe it was, I don't know, some team did that. But even you know, Epsilon has a lot of open ground to counter a push on. It's a really, I think it's a little overestimated on a push. You're probably going to more likely go through the dropship. Or around Kappa. That's where you're going to preserve your armor. This team 2 spot though here up on the wall is really a nice counter to really either of them, just having a nice vantage point across the entire map. But we'll see if Avens decides to use it. We know EQ has in both of their matches, but they have the opposite side this time. So we'll see how that turns out. Looking at the distributions right now on team 1, we have Stimrog, Dubix, and Charlie, Shine and Ghosty in the center at Bravo, and the balance at Alpha. That could be our Kappa push from team 1 here. Meanwhile, we've got a heavy Bravo development, and then we've got a couple in Charlie, maybe to make a token fight there. And then one in Alpha, that's going to be our scout over to Kappa. So Scrub Lord, if that is indeed the case, who is our scout over here in Alpha on team 2, is going to have to be real careful about a potential Kappa push. Now, we're seeing some reorganization here. We've got 1 in Alpha, 2 Bravo, 2 Charlie. Yeah, so I think, yeah, that looks like probably more of a Epsilon-sided development here for Team 2. So hang on, let me give them a 1.5 minute warning here for Team 2 as they get ready. Yeah, this one could be pretty interesting. All right, I have almost everybody ready. Give them their 1.5 minute warning. All right, Team 2 is locked. Without further ado, I'm going to launch the final drop of the second phase of the Invitationals. Wait, no. We're going to the final drop of the seeding round. After this, our top 4 order will be decided. And then we wait for the comp queue to wrap up. To pull our top 8 being pulled October 1st. All right, let's take a look here. We got Scout Derek in an X-Pulse SRM Hellspawn. We've got a Crusader with heavy PPC. We got a Firestarter light PPC. Over on the other side of the map, we're looking at Lizzie with ER large, a Virago, a Warhawk. All right, so we are looking at very strong trade here from the Aben side. Hang on, what's on that Jade Kite? All right, Gauss and large. Yep, so looks like they are going, well, they're potentially going to take advantage of that. Now that's Kokomish and Spirit Bear. Here we go. Here's that push from Equilibrium. They are going Epsilon side. Big gamble on this, but they are pushing fast. So we've got ourselves a Spirit Bear with a good mix, this Kokomish with lights and SRMs. X-Pulse on that Crusader. Let's see, SRMs on the XE. Yeah, everyone's just hopping over here, not even bothering for a scout at this point. Having no one at Kappa, no one at Theta, Avens should be wise to what's happening here. There's no reason they shouldn't be, but let's see how this plays out. Bowser and the Crusader pushing up towards Theta, trying to get eyes, getting some shots on here. All right, our Virago, Mech Warrior in the back, no one taking the Volcano. Chimera hanging out here, I guess by this marginally active cone here. Light screening Bowser, pulling back, and Scout Derek also pulling back. Lizzie back here in the Stalker. Rick Rom in the low ground. Jade Kite, they're really hoping that they're going to push around that corner. And here we go, Arctic Wolf, Incubus, as Rick Rom Mech Warrior just open up on Stimrog and Shine Plasma, who get away relatively easily. Look at all these UAVs, folks. Don't forget about them. G-Ram and the Kodiak and Bowser in the Crusader seem to be really where all the focus fire is here. Chicken Man actually going down to some legs. Scout Derek going down. Bowser going down. G-Ram going down. We are too short here. This is a brawl that we're looking for. Zeos going down, Lizzie going down. That's going to push it in favor of Equilibrium, who's set up and just really quickly, I don't know if they knew it was coming or not. Chimera going down. That's going to be put us at a 3 mech advantage. Ghosty pushing in against Mech Warrior and Rick Rom. Ghosty getting legged, probably going to go down here real soon, but twisting like mad while Rick Rom takes some significant damage and goes down quick. Texan Scrub Lord also going down. It's just cleanup at this point. Mech Warrior at the legs. The focus fire of Equilibrium on that push is brutal. 2 pushes. Well done, Equilibrium, on those pushes. Just really showing us how the pushes are done. Everybody all at once, not the KDCM trickery where they throw in and get some distractions. They just all at once. I don't think Avens was ready for them yet again. Pulled back once it was spotted, but I think it was ultimately too late. EQ bringing some real fast mechs in there, and then the focus fire making all the difference there. EQ doing incredible stuff. All right, taking a look at these damages. 380 is the top for EQ. That's Ghosty. I called that mech the wrong thing. My bad. But in either way, still well done at 380 on that one. No one really comparable on Avon's side. Look, you've got, honestly, the damages aren't all that different. Avon's was just on their heels. There was nothing that they could really do about that. It was just a straight push over Epsilon, and that is going to do it for the finals here. EQ taking the final win 3-2 against Avon. So Equilibrium is going to go in first seed, Avon second, ADCM third, Darkseek Corsairs fourth. Those are your top four for the top 12 tournament, which will be starting in October, a couple weeks until CompQ ends. If you want in on this top 12 tournament, we're going to be taking the top 8 from the CompQ on October the 1st. So get stuff going. Get your teams up into that top 8. It's pretty good competition up there. I highly encourage it. If you're just here for the fun, go have fun with it. There's awards, rewards at 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60 games. Don't forget those tournament supporter packs, which will happen up here. Let's see here. Checking out the chat as we figure stuff out. In any case, have a great night, everybody. Gotta wrap this stream, and we'll see you in a few weeks starting the top 12.
Let's play this game.
I need another heavy. I've got TB and a quick draw.
I want to get fairly tight to it. Now, anybody who's going to be working range?
Just kidding. I'm back. Apparently, I made an error. I guess it is 4-1 EQ, and that is going that. All right. Catch you guys later. Adjusting those scores. Enjoy.
Let's play this game.
I need another heavy. I've got TB and a quick draw.
I want to get fairly tight to it. Now, anybody who's going to be working range, I'm going to need you to fade right on this. And when anybody's running short, is going to stay towards the top of the call there if we're going to come at them.
I have you in the Griff. Griffin.
Sounds good.
Well, that's the thing. We got to get to brawling range, so I may be moving us, right up to the hoop if we have to.
Wolverine nach Charlie 4.
It's fine, chill the out, man, it's fine, it's just a 5-star.
Komm, Leute, redet miteinander.
15 seconds.
Yeah, exactly,
Don't die.
guys,
15 seconds, don't die.
guys. 3, 2, 1.
Charlie Dar, CT, yellow. Okay, go for Charlie, so we can get it.
There. To your left, there's there. So jetzt guys, hinter the indie pockets,
Mediums be prepared to pull back E40 towards the E5 border. On my mark.
Left side, come on! Like now, I need strikes on OP barrel. Wire are strikes up.
Die Hauptgruppe rechts, Uferlinie.
They have 3 mechs sitting on the left side when you pass over. Overheating is bad. Both legs on the Griffin. Hit the Griffin.
Sorry about that. That was such a
That's right. I'm gonna spawn Lance, you guys in Charlie, Lance, you guys in Bravo. That's B2C1.
This third drop is 2 lights, 2 mediums, 2 heavies, 2 assaults.
Jetzt in die Breite, ziehen Sie dann in die Breite.
Lights, watch our backs. We're gonna about base and take up position in Bravo 6.
Kurz Aufschaltung Delta 4-3 Stück, 2 Mediums einleiten, wie ich es richtig gesehen habe.
Make a firing line.
C4 Tactical Hill, boys.
Fox.
Laufen unter ECM, hab 2 durchlaufen, 10 Bravo 4.
And get ready to hit people coming from our right.
Charlie on the left, Charlie, Hellbringer on the left.
Okay, let's group up towards the left. We're gonna press through Bravo 3 to Bravo 4. I think they're kind of spread out.
Check yourselves. Make sure you've got, UAV cool shot.
Here they come. They're pushing hard, guys.
Decro. Tez on.
No. Oh, got a contact here, Bravo 3.
Nice, Marshall. I'm on Delta Griffin.
We'll get cross it then. Get in their face. They got a highlighter. They just push up on Theta. We need help on Theta. Up on Theta.
Yep, that's the noise. Go. Let's finish this.
Full pressure, guys. Full pressure. They're down low. They're down low in Charlie 3. Get the f***ing arm, Jackson.
Cool shot.
Golf. I got him.
Go, B3, go.
Echo, go. Echo.
Get over on your medium, guys. Get Echo Stormcrow. God, I suck as a pilot, but thank I packed my skill.
I'm sorry that you died, sweet girls, but we will send a reasonably nice letter to your family.